Olean as tonight St. Bonaventure plays host to the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Let's get to the starting lineups now. Here's public address announcer Joe Downey.
The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Starting in the backcourt, a sophomore from Roscoe, Illinois, number 5, Ryan Hoover. Also at guard, a junior from Batavia, Illinois, number 24, Lamar Justice. At center for Notre Dame, a senior from Wabash, Indiana, number 53, Joe Ross. And at the forwards, a senior from Oak Lawn, Illinois, number 50, Carl Cozen. And also at forward, a senior from Forest Heights, Maryland, number 3, Monty Williams. The assistant coaches are Jimmy Black, Fred McCaffrey, and Parker Laquetta. And the head coach, John McLeod. And now, here are the starters for the Bonnies. Maryland, number 44, David Vanderpool. At center for the Bonnies, a senior from Stockholm, Sweden, number 55, Tobias Huff.
Quackenbush to start.
And at the forwards, a senior from Detroit, number 24, the G-Man, Garland Mintz. And also at forward, a senior from Philadelphia, number 00, Harry Moore.
Well,
the assistants are Joe Lombardi, Rob Lanier.
They are up for this one here at the Riley Center, and we'll be back with more in just a moment.
Up in the morning for the break of day, working the farm, it's the only way. Today's fresh milk from the dairy land goes from upstate farms to the Bison brand. Bison dips taste better. Dip vegetables in Bison Ranch. Top tacos with Bison jalapeno. Or potatoes with French onion. Try all our new tastes. It's simply the best when it's Bison. So upstate fresh.
Do you have what it takes to be part of the Sabres power play? Well then, how about the Gulf Oil Premium Power Play Sweepstakes? I want you to join me, Dave Hannon, and the rest of the Buffalo Sabres as we take you on the road to Quebec and Ottawa. Hey, we'll even let you fly in our team plane and stay in our hotel. You could also win autographed jerseys, sticks, plus more.
Join Dave and take your best shot. Register today at participating Gulf Oil outlets. No purchase necessary.
They're already having a great time here at the Riley Center. And again, a look at the starting lineups for you graphically here this evening. St. Bonaventure going against Notre Dame, a couple of clubs with very similar records. And the setup now, Notre Dame on the left, Joe Ross. He has a twin brother on the team as well. And rather than Quackenbush at center, the Bonnies are starting Tobias Huff, 6'9", 210-pounder. The officials for tonight's game: Don Bonder working with Ron Foxcroft and Rich Sanfilippo. Well, we are just about ready. The waiting has been many months for this one.
It's amazing what Notre Dame can do, though. They bring the crowd out here. They've got a sellout crowd waiting for the Bonnies tonight.
And the Bonnies get the opening tip. That's Mance. Shandu McNeil cut off at the pass by Hoover and takes it back out.
Straight man-to-man by Notre Dame, which we expected early, but I got to think that they're going to see some zone quickly, Bonnies also.
This is Vanderpool. Back to Mance. Harry Moore hasn't seen the ball yet. Off on the right, Vanderpool, three-point try. Nope, and the rebound comes down to Monty Williams. Notre Dame on the attack. Lamar Justice, who initially was not listed to start.
Real surprise there, Peter, as much as he's only played 4 games this year. He's only taken 1 shot from the field.
Ross cross court, Hoover the tray, yes.
Hoover has been on a hot streak the last 2, with Missouri getting 25 and 24 down at Duquesne on Saturday. He's a legitimate three-point shooter. Takes a great deal of pressure off of Monty Williams.
And as a sophomore, he already has the Fighting Irish three-point basket career record.
Harry Moore just pushed Cozen down on the floor.
Mance can't score. Cozen gets the rebound. And here again, Lamar Justice.
Well, we talked at the top of the show about somebody from Bonaventure has to make some jump shots to make it a little easier for Harry.
Ross turning inside, call for traveling.
Yep. Pretty good move, though. I think they're going to try to go inside against Bonaventure. That looks like their game plan. Try to take the ball in and see if they can create some mismatches, see if they can get Bonaventure in foul trouble.
Shandu McNeil with the Bonnies trailing 3-0. A minute, 23 seconds gone. McNeil with Hoover. Now Mance in tight. Huff. Huff fakes Ross up and would have counted had it gone. Pushing off there against Ross.
Nice offensive move by Tobias Huff. Too bad he didn't knock it down for the Bonnies, but makes a good head fake. Gets Ross up in the air. Almost gets it to go.
Huff making his 5th start of the season for the Bonnies.
He's their highest field goal percentage shooter at 47%.
John now 9 of 15 from the line.
John McLeod is still complaining on the side about Harry Moore initially throwing Cozen down.
Huff, it rattles out. Vanderpool got it, puts it back up. No. Ross got the rebound as they crawl over the back.
Bonnies are a little tight early. Tobias Huff misses a couple free throws. Vanderpool does a real nice job rebounding the offensive board. Throws it clear over the basket. Then Harry Moore goes over the top of Ross for the foul.
And that his first. Notre Dame still leading 3-0 on the three-point goal by the man with the ball, Ryan Hoover.
Hoover handles the press very nicely.
Off the heel, Monty Williams, offensive rebound. He can't score, gets another shot. No, it's knocked away. Williams picks up the foul.
It will be a long night for the Bonnies if Monty Williams is able to control the offensive boards that easily. He just cleared some people out inside. You see the shot as he goes up, snatches it off the top, actually misses a little bunny and gets his own rebound. Gets slapped by Shandu.
So McNeil with his first. And Williams misses a chance. Right there for the free shot. And got a charitable bounce off the iron there. Notre Dame 4-0.
Couple minutes gone. Bonnies still haven't got their legs under them yet. They look a little tense, not screening real hard.
2 minutes gone. They're trying to get something inside they like. Outside they've not been able to hit. Vanderpool. Cross to Huff. No, he's not going to take the shot.
Everything's perimeter right now for Bonaventure, though. Not looking to get the ball inside. Harry Moore looking to take it out. It could have been a walk, could have been a charge, could have been a block.
And Vanderpool's left hand didn't go. Mance can't score. Huff gets it back. Nope. Ross had it, taken away by Mance. And stepping on the end line, Garland Mance.
Bonnie's all over the offensive board, which certainly bodes well for them in the future. They'll start to knock some of these down eventually. But they don't want to get themselves in too deep of a hole early here because they need to keep this crowd in the game, and they're in the game right now.
Hoover looks low on that block to Williams against two. Little hard, and the rebound, Harry Moore. Shandu McNeil.
The fact that Shandu McNeil is not much of a threat from the outside really enables Ryan Hoover to just drop in, protect on the inside.
Harry Moore loops it back out. Vanderpool puts it down against Justice. Now McNeil tied up, throws up a prayer. Mance can't handle it cleanly.
Whoa.
Then way too hard, but gets it back. Yes, another offensive try off the glass. Doesn't go. Williams clears the rebound for Notre Dame.
Garland Mance has been ultra strong early in this game here as he hasn't been close. Working hard, but nothing to show for it.
Guys like Ross and Cozen should be doing a better job blocking out.
Yes, they should. They're big, strong kids that can really look like they should be able to put a body on some people.
Hoover can't find anything open with Vanderpool pushing him further outside, and a walk going to be called on the Irish point guard, John McLeod. Notre Dame coach, taking it in from the side. Substitution in for St. Bonaventure. Nee Nelson Richards as Huff goes to the bench.
Jim Barron going early to Jeff Quackenbush and Nee Nelson Richards, looking for somebody that can score. Needs somebody to break the ice here. It's been 3 and change since they haven't tipped it in yet, but maybe Nee Nelson Richards to be able to come off the bench and give them the lift that they need.
Shandu McNeil, and right off the face and chest there of Quackenbush.
Good pass by Shandu. Quackenbush not quite ready to be able to catch it. It's tough coming off the bench, a little cold. Maybe he's not ready for that kind of a pass, but you have to be ready in this kind of a game.
In the A-10, couple of one-point games. George Washington over St. Joe's and Duquesne over Rhode Island, both in the first half. Hoover, low to Ross. Now Monty Williams from the free throw strike.
Not a good start, obviously, for the Bonaventure team because it gives Notre Dame a chance to quiet the crowd here. Right now, this crowd is hepped up and ready to go.
They're going again now.
Yep, they're trying to get them back in it, but Bonnies have had some good shots. They've just really been tense.
Nee Nelson Richards turning inside, and as he turned the corner, he was fouled.
Notre Dame does not possess the great athlete, Peter, and you can see that from a defensive standpoint, and that they're not real quick. Here's a hold right there by Lamar Justice, and as Richards was able to go to the basket.
Well, as they were saying before the game during the shoot-around for St. Bonaventure, Notre Dame does not like to play defense. Maybe they just can't. Stay tuned. More to come.
Attention sports fans, when you need a score on any game, call Scores Coast to Coast. The fastest sports scores anywhere. Not only do you get the fastest scores, you also get current Las Vegas lines updated every hour, as well as injuries, trends, weather, and more 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Everything a serious sports fan needs absolutely free on a recorded message. The fastest scores anywhere. Quick, someone just scored. Call Scores Coast to Coast.
Halfway Auto Parts has got it. Large inventory, great selection, experienced and helpful counter staff. Everything necessary to make shopping for auto parts quick and easy. From everything in automotive repair needs to paint refinish products and accessories, at Halfway we'll go all the way to make sure you get the quality, service, and prices you're looking for. Halfway Auto Parts, halfway between Eastern Hills Mall and Lockport, 7641 Transit Road Amherst, and in the heart of Lockport at 5 North Transit Road.
Ryan Hoover with a three-point bucket. Monty Williams with 1 of 2 from the line and a field goal as Notre Dame leads this one 6-0 over St. Bonaventure. Now, don't miss the action when the Arizona State Sun Devils take on the USC Trojans live Thursday night at 11:30 right here on Empire Sports Network.
Notre Dame is a funny team in the sense that they shoot the three pretty well. Monty Williams, Ryan Hoover, and Keith Kukowski are good three-point shooters. But as a team overall, they only shoot 44%, and they've missed a couple easy ones inside early, obviously Bonaventure has also.
But what's the one thing you think Jim Barron would have concentrated on in that last timeout?
I think just to say relax. They seem real tight right now. I think just relax, take your time, get a bucket, start to get something going here. But they've got to get the ball inside. They also have to get the ball to 0-0 Harry Moore.
Well, Quackenbush in there now, who was not in the starting lineup tonight. And traveling is the call on the far side.
A couple travel calls early on both squads.
Breaking the attacking zone, and Shandu McNeil picks up a cheap foul.
Well, Shandu's trying to make something happen from a defensive standpoint. Referee John Bonder let the first bump go, and then second one he did not. They're trying to emphasize the hand check, and that certainly seemed like a hand check.
Monty Williams, Joe Ross, the offensive rebound, tied up by Mance, and a foul on Mance.
Ross doing a nice job in the offensive board. Bonnie's not boxing out at this point as Ross gets the inside position on Mance. Mance has nothing to do but foul him at that point.
Monty Williams, the slam, back to the live action. And Notre Dame has an 8-0 lead with just about, now 5 minutes having expired.
Great start for the Irish. Conversely, not such a good start for Bonnies. Cozen doing a nice job inside on Harry Moore, but they really have to look for him. That's where it is. Now they're doubling down, and until somebody makes a jump shot, until somebody knocks something down, they're going to continue to do this on Harry Moore all night long. So the pressure rests squarely on Lee Nelson Richards, Garland Mance, Vanderpool when he comes in the game. I don't think McNeil's a shooter. He's going to be dishing more than anything else.
If he is a shooter, they're going to be in trouble.
Yes, yes.
So a reset on that shot clock after the kick by Monty Williams, and the big block there defensively for Notre Dame. Quackenbush cross to McNeil in the corner. McNeil in unfamiliar territory. Sends it back. Harry Moore from behind the home run stripe and hits it.
That'll get the crowd in the game.
It took 5:43.
Harry finally gets one. He has to go way behind the three to do it, though. If he's forced to take three-point shots all night, that's not going to be a good sign for Bonaventure either.
5 minutes and 43 seconds before St. Bonaventure scored. It's 8-3. Justice. Again, Notre Dame having trouble finding a guy to be that number one, the lead guard. Justice getting a chance here tonight in a late lineup shuffle by John McLeod.
I think John McLeod is searching just like everybody else is. Great move by Monty Williams.
Beautiful move. He has 7 points now.
He's a smooth player, isn't he, Peter?
Yes, he is. Well, the scoreboard really had something going there. They had Notre Dame leading 160-3 until they corrected it. Quackenbush from 3.
That'll get you back in the game in a hurry.
Yeah.
A three-point shot does it every time.
On the other hand, though, Coach, you don't want to become overly reliant on that.
No, absolutely not, especially for a team that's only shooting 31% from the three-point strike.
A 10-6 game, but maybe that will loosen things up for them inside as well. As they try to go the pass to Ross, offensive foul. And it's Ross for, or no, not, yeah, it is Ross for pushing.
Ross coming in for Ross here. John Ross replacing Joe Ross. Lamar Justice also getting a break, and the heralded freshman Ardmore White out of Fort Lauderdale comes in the game.
Who has been a starter at point guard or playing the most effective minutes for Notre Dame at that position.
John McLeod is a man-to-man defensive team, and even though Bonnie's, and you see right there that when Lee Nelson Richards has to handle the ball and Shandu goes out of the game, Bonaventure's ball handling skills diminish immediately.
John McLeod directing the Notre Dame offensive set.
But as I mentioned, even though Bonnies are a very poor outside shooting team, John McLeod goes with his staple defense, which is the man-to-man.
Inside for John Ross, and he just comes in off the bench and scores 2. Nice
Ross,
bank shot.
Not a real offensive player either. Quackenbush gives him inside position. You and I could make that shot, Pete. Well, maybe me. I don't know about you.
I don't know.
Yeah.
At halftime, by the way, special feature, Jim and I will be playing some one-on-one.
Yeah, you did tell people you are a Notre Dame alum, and since I'm a Bonaventure alum.
Oh, you went here?
I went here, and you and I will be going. We'll be stripping down to the skivvies and playing one-on-one at halftime. That'll keep them in their seats.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
John Ross with his first foul, and Notre Dame makes another move. Jason Williams out of Indianapolis comes in, taking over for Ryan Hooper. Hoover going to the bench after hitting a tray early in the ball game.
Harry Moore and John Bonder, the referee, is trying to get something settled in here early as Moore is banging hard with Cozen inside, as is Ross and Williams. So the referees want to make sure that this thing stays under control.
Don't want to lose that, and hustling on the other side and thinking there, Lee Nelson Richards fires the ball off Jason Williams.
And a sight that's not seen very often at Riley Center is that all the photographers are perched in the corner and referees have to push them back. It's a nice sight to see.
Yes, it is. The sellout crowd here tonight.
On this warm, balmy night here in Olean.
Well, compared to Buffalo, this is the tropics right now.
Or Syracuse, right, yep.
Well, a walk there and moving outside on the left.
John McLeod gets an assist for that call.
Yeah.
Right in front of the official. See, I think it's, here comes Shandu immediately back into the game. In fairness to Lee Nelson Richards, he's really not a point guard. And they're putting him into a position where he's getting an awful lot of pressure from Ardmore White. Shandu McNeil will handle that ball much better than Richards.
And he's the only true point guard on this roster for St. Bonaventure.
Absolutely.
Harry Moore rebounds the miss by Monty Williams. Pushed up to Vanderpool. Little hesitation on the left wing, turns inside and draws a foul.
Vanderpool, Lee Nelson Richards, Monty Williams all come from the Washington, D.C. area. I'm sure played against each other a number of times in the summer, probably even played against each other in high school. They know each other well.
The foul on Williams. Jason Williams with his first. Here's Harry Moore. He's hit a three-pointer before inside the two-point area, and he misses that. White with the rebound. Add more White. Monty Williams scores, and he'll have a chance to add to it.
Bonaventure very, very slow getting back on the defensive end. Monty Williams has a chance for the three the old-fashioned way. Here's the kick out. Harry Moore's a little slow getting back. So is everyone else. Ill-advised attempt to block the shot by David Vanderpool.
And that's his first foul. The free throw is missed, but rebounded by Williams. Back outside to White.
Not a very good defensive job of boxing out for Bonnies. Right now it's been a little loose on both ends of the court, especially on the rebounding side.
Yeah, neither side has done a very good job of that at all. Cozen. Geez, he's way outside. Turned inside by Ross. He's looking like an offensive rebound converting machine.
When you look at Ross's statistics, he's not scoring any points, 3 or 4 points a game, and not an offensive threat in any way at all. Right now he's getting the best of Jeff Quackenbush.
And he's exceeded his average after playing just a couple of minutes. Rifled out of bounds. It'll be Notre Dame ball.
Timeout comes at a good time for the Bonnies as they need to regroup at this point.
Irish lead it by 10. We have much more action to come your way from the Riley Center on the Empire Sports Network.
Do you have what it takes to be part of the Sabres power play? Well then, how about the Gulf Oil Premium Power Play Sweepstakes? I want you to join me, Dave Hannon, and the rest of the Buffalo Sabres as we take you on the road to Quebec and Ottawa. Hey, we'll even let you fly in our team plane and stay in our hotel. You could also win autographed jerseys, sticks, plus more.
Join Dave and take your best shot. Register today at participating Gulf Oil outlets. No purchase necessary.
I really didn't want my husband to color his gray hair.
But then I discovered this, the hair coloring called Just for Men.
And now he looks better than ever.
Apply Just for Men, and in 5 minutes, rinse. No wonder 8 out of 10 wives prefer the natural Just for Men look to gray hair.
It's like you took off 10 years.
With Just for Men hair color. And now, new Just for Men color gel for the hard-to-color hair of mustaches and beards. Brush in, rinse out, just 5 minutes.
Notre Dame up by 10 at the Riley Center. They got out to an 8-0 advantage, then 10-0. And here, Cozen with the miss, but the rebound converted by John Ross.
Bonnies have to do a much, much better and stronger job rebounding the defensive board. Now, Notre Dame has had their way all night long so far on that board.
John Ross, twin brother Joe, was in the starting lineup at center out of Wabash, Indiana. They're in the west central part of the Hoosier State.
Notre Dame hasn't shown a whole lot of assistance to Monty Williams this year, but tonight they've had some early on anyways, some good efforts from an awful lot of different people, especially the big guys. Bonnies go to the 2-2-1 trap, get the steal immediately, almost.
Vying for it. He was held out by Admore White. Cross court. The three-pointer lipped out. Quackenbush able to corral the rebound. He had Ross behind, or rather Cozen behind him and Ross in front of him.
That's the way Quackenbush has to rebound the ball, though. As we see the replay here, he goes after it with 2 hands, and he gets some people off of him. Fortunately, the foul was called before time as Quackenbush gets his little extracurricular elbow in the act.
Cozen with his first foul. 6 team fouls against the Irish. 10:42 to play in the first half.
Notre Dame has been very impressive on the defensive end early here, though. Taking away Bonaventure's inside thing. We see the double again. Mance has got some room to shoot the ball. Doesn't take advantage of it.
Shot clock is down at 10. Now McNeil. Vanderpool, the home run try, and has it.
Great penetration by Shandu McNeil. That's what he gives Bonaventure. And now McNeil makes a great defensive play as White pushes off to get the ball.
Admore White the foul. Here again the three-pointer by Vanderpool.
Bonnies have scored 3 baskets, all 3-pointers.
Moore, Quackenbush, and Vanderpool from 3-point range. St. Bonaventure trailing by 7. And in the 1-1 now with 10:17 to go.
Early in the 1-1. Shandu is not a great foul shooter. I've seen him shoot the ball very poorly early on in the year, although he's made some strides recently. Nope.
Well, St. Bonaventure had the rebound momentarily. A struggle back and forth. A real scrum ensues. Boy, the bodies, the arms, and the legs all intertwined. And they finally pry things free. No foul called, and the Bonnies bring Tobias Huff back in. Quackenbush to the bench.
It's a very physical game. Bonnies are going to need to use some people off the bench early and often.
Monty Williams going to report back in for the Fighting Irish. Billy Taylor essentially in his slot in the lineup right now. Vanderpool.
Notre Dame with a drop defense. Again, another three. 4 threes for Bonnies.
Garland Mance.
161-16 the scoreboard reads.
Incredible. And Shandu McNeil steals away from White. Goes inside. It goes. Shandu McNeil. Has he created or what?
The little man single-handedly brought the Bonnies back here defensively with a steal. Aggressive play.
Foul away from the ball. And the point out goes to Mance, and 3 substitutions preparing to enter for Notre Dame.
Shandu McNeil got the crowd back into this game almost single-handedly.
Hoover, Justice, and Williams come in. White, along with Williams, going out. Plus Billy Taylor.
Garland Mance's second personal foul.
6 team fouls on St. Bonaventure. Hoover, who hit the early 3-point bucket. Justice looking into Williams. Williams almost faces up into 3 defenders. Now Justice. Hoover's all by his lonesome, and he bags the 3-point bucket.
Bonaventure made a mistake defensively in that they double-teamed Lamar Justice, who has only made 1 shot all year long, leaving Ryan Hoover, their best 3-point shooter, free. He makes them pay for it.
19-13 Notre Dame. Just under 9 minutes to play in the opening half. Harry Moore.
Bonnies are really playing David Vanderpool and Harry Moore hard inside, pretty much leaving everybody else free.
Vanderpool for Moore.
Down to 7 again.
Moore in the lane, forced the shot, goes hard to the floor, and Notre Dame comes back 2-on-2. Justice waits for everyone else to join in. Taylor, the lefty, goes to the hole, blocked away by Huff. Scramble on the floor, and a holding foul in the lane.
Hold on Monty Williams, I believe.
Yes.
It looked like Tobias Huff got a lot of ball right there. A little body and a lot of ball. Then there was a loose ball here.
And obscured by Huff is Monty Williams, where he would have committed the foul.
You could tell that John McLeod is not used to these officials, because he said, hey ref. Usually when you're pleading your case, you call them by their first name.
That's right.
So he doesn't know who they are right now. But they know who he is.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that.
He'll probably take some notes on this one, too.
Yes, he will.
Mance hits the free throw. So he has 4 points. And Bonaventure within 5 with 8.5 to play in the half.
Both teams are working very hard. This is a big game for both teams.
Yeah, it is.
Forget records or anything else. They're both trying to get back into the plus column, and this is a big game. I'm sure Notre Dame comes in here figuring that they have a legitimate shot to win. Bonnies wins last year against Notre Dame, so they figure, hey, we got a shot to knock it in.
Yeah, and that was on the road.
Yeah, and Bonnies, I think, as we see them come into the 2-2-1 press again, have had some success with this.
They do this after making a switch. Lee Nelson Richards in for Mance, who had shot those free throws. A 4-point difference. John Ross. No, his last name isn't Ewing. He wants to try to take the outside shot. Got his own rebound, probably because nobody can believe he took it. And a hold is going to be called on Huff, and Jim Barron can't believe it.
Ron Foxcroft coincidentally happened to be the one referee that Coach McLeod just had his ear at this end of the court. Now, I'm not saying there was anything that would be between that, but interestingly enough.
Lamar Justice goes to the sideline, and for the first time, Keith Kurowski, who comes out of Manawan, New Jersey, a sophomore, enters the game, the third leading scorer for Notre Dame this year.
Very, very good shooter. Was a redshirt sophomore right now. Was hurt last year and didn't play at all, but is an excellent outside shooter. Comes from a great program, CBA at Lincroft. Great move right there by David Vanderpool.
Outstanding move. So they're getting the ball inside now. Yeah, that great program has produced former Irish stars like Billy Paterno.
John Crotty played for Virginia.
Yep. Hoover. Right inside to Williams. Williams got Huff to go flying. Couldn't convert the shot. Huff feels the bleeding. Oh.
Did he call intentional on that? No, he did not. He just called a bang. But we see here, Huff just makes sure that he doesn't get that off. Pretty good defensive play.
Huff's second foul. Duquesne leads Rhode Island 33-26 in the first half with 1:30 to go. Monty Williams at the line is 1 of 3 in this one.
That's the one positive thing I think about St. Bonaventure is we see Williams go to the line and knocks one down. Bonaventure has already played UMass twice. They got them out of the way. They've gone to West Virginia, which is traditionally a very difficult place to play. They've been at Rhode Island. They've played GW here, so they haven't played some of the so-called lesser teams in the league, like Rutgers, St. Joe's, and Duquesne. So I think if they could get Notre Dame tonight, they got Canisius and Niagara coming up, and things could look positive for them.
You never know what can happen. Just play the games, everybody. We'll be right back.
Attention sports fans, when you need a score on any game, call Scores Coast to Coast. The fastest sports scores anywhere. Not only do you get the fastest scores, you also get current Las Vegas lines updated every hour, as well as injuries, trends, weather, and more 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Everything a serious sports fan needs absolutely free on a recorded message. The fastest scores anywhere. Quick, someone just scored. Call Scores Coast to Coast.
He shoots, he scores! That's right, it's time to come to Fascinations and see why Buffalo is one of the best sports towns around. Fascinations is inviting you down Sunday for the Sunday Sabres Shootout. We'll challenge you to snap it through the goalie's 5-hole to win great prizes, including Buffalo Sabres tickets. We'll have winners all Sunday long. And if the Sabres are playing that night, stay at Fascinations for the game and enjoy $1 bar drinks and more great prizes. That's the Sunday Sabres Shootout at Fascinations, Union and French Roads in the Garden Village Plaza, Cheektowaga.
Notre Dame leads by 4 here on the Empire Sports Network, the Riley Center in Olean. Well, when Empire Sports Network needs a big play, where do you turn but Frank Reich? Check out the Frank Reich Show, Thursday night at 7 on Empire Sports Network, the home of hometown heroes. Greg Brown there hosting the show at the Eastern Hills Mall. He goes shopping right after he does that show. Yeah.
Yep.
Really spends the bread.
Somebody has to do it. Hey, I got a question for you. I got a little quiz. What do Southern Idaho, Missouri, Kansas City, Cal State Northridge, Sacramento State, Oral Roberts, and Notre Dame have in common?
And what would that be?
They are the only Division I teams that are playing an independent schedule, are not affiliated with the league.
And that tells you about the moves.
A little bit about Notre Dame falling down.
And the movement is such that the coaching staff would love to get into a conference.
Absolutely.
And the administration is not so quick to come up with the backing for that idea.
Well, they have to, though, Peter. I mean, you can see that their fortunes have really fallen in the last 5 years, record-wise, and they need to get into a league situation. They just can't survive playing the tough schedule that they're playing, and they need to get into a Big East or a conference similar to that.
One Ross in for another. John Ross sits, Joe Ross returns.
You'll be saying that all night long.
Yeah.
I mean, when was the last time when you looked at Bonaventure played at Palumbo Center down in Duquesne on Saturday, and then they come to the Riley Center here? They never would come to small gyms like that.
No.
But they're forced into doing that now, only because they don't have the natural rivalries that they normally would have if in a league situation.
Other schools that they traditionally played that were also independents have joined leagues. Made it much more difficult for them. Monty Williams, boy, Harry Moore all over him. Then Vanderpool comes over to steal.
1 on 3. See what he does with it. Tries to go up. Whoa!
Up is stopped by Joe Ross. Huff is going to be taking a lot of ice tonight after this game.
Yep. Pretty strong move, though, by Tobias Huff going to the hole here. As Vanderpool makes a nice steal, nice dish to the big fella. He tries to finish it off. Ross says, no. Holds on to the rim and plays a little ping pong with it.
To the sideline, Billy Taylor for Notre Dame. Carl Cozen back in. So the third foul on Joe Ross. Huff at the line. Nothing of two there previously.
Bonnie's not a good foul shooting team. That's been evidenced early on here also. But these are the kind of things that you have to do if you're going to be successful in a game where you're equal in talent to the other team. You have to make your free throws. Notre Dame's a poor free throw shooting team also.
Well, 2 bricks.
0 for 4 from the foul line.
He's well on his way to a nice barbecue pit. Kurowski. On the left wing, Williams and Moore. He drives on Moore, doesn't get it, and the rebound by Kurowski doesn't go. Moore steps over the opposition.
4 on.
And from behind, awkward foul, horribly awkward foul on Matt Gotch. So the shot would not have counted had it gone. Matt Gotch, 6'11" freshman out of Friendswood, Texas.
This game has no run to it whatsoever. It's been fouls. Bonnies will shoot 2 from here on out on every common foul. Notre Dame is a couple away from that, but they're in the 1-on-1 already.
And a lot of that has to do with the fact that Notre Dame in particular does not have a great number of basketball players they can really put out there. Division I basketball players.
They have some people that do certain skills well. Hoover's a very good three-point shooter. I think Kurowski, if his knee is okay, is a Division I player for sure. And Monty Williams obviously is. But beyond that, they really are struggling.
And there's more struggling by Grotch, the freshman.
Project out of Texas. Certainly not quite ready.
A heck of a project. There's a lot of work to do there.
See if Bonnies can run. Cross court. 3.
In and out. Harry Moore underneath. Heavy traffic, and he's fouled.
Harry Moore working real hard on the offensive board, but Shandu McNeil pushes the ball up. I'd like to see McNeil handle it himself a little bit more, though. You see that Richards gets the 3, rims it. When you're going bad, those kind of things happen too. Those kind of rims in and out.
Well, Gotch picks up his second foul. Moore goes to the line, where again he is 1 out of 3.
Jim Barron has his substitution rotation in with Garland Manson, Nee Nelson Richards, and David Vanderpool, keeping some fresh people there.
Moore hits that one to give him 5 points. Jason Williams now replaces Keith Kurowski for Notre Dame on the floor. 6:15 left in the half. Moore to pull his team within 1. He does.
Both teams playing very physical on the defensive end. Bonnies go straight man full court right now. They cleared out and let Monty Williams. Shows you the versatility of a Monty Williams, who's able to take the ball out, dribble one end to the other, and look to shoot the J.
Yeah, he had to set it up for himself after carrying it down court.
Yep. Bonnie's got a chance to take their first lead of the game here.
Off the heel. Huff. He is hacked big time.
My goodness.
Scramble. Now they got the advantage. Hoover. Alley-oop to Williams.
That one'll work. That'll work. Especially over Shandu McNeil. Tobias Huff looked like he got hammered at the other end by Grosh, but no call made.
Nelson Richards.
They really have to look to get the ball inside to Harry Moore. He's working hard to get position, and they're not looking to get it into him.
Like they think it's too difficult to pass. Shandu McNeil off the iron, but kept in by Nelson Richards. That doesn't go.
Richards just can't seem to get it to go down.
Notre Dame ball. McNeil tried to save it off Hoover.
Yep, Nee Nelson Richards has struggled with his shooting all year long, with the exception of 1 or 2 games. He has some good looks right now. Can't get it to fall. That just works on his psyche even more at this point.
Came over on the double, stolen nicely the way that was set up. Nelson Richards with the initial pressure, then the steal by Mance, and he puts it down with the slam.
Ryan Hoover did just what you're not supposed to do. He turned his back to the defense, the weak side defensive man. Garland Mance picked his pocket.
1-point game. Kozin passed up the initial shot, takes that one. Rebound Huff. Little extra elbow there, and the ball saved by McNeil in the corner, and Huff losing his temper with Gotch.
John McLeod not happy at all with that one, but as we see it, the refs have to really kind of tighten up right now. They've called a lot of free throws, but this game is still a little bit out of hand.
Very much so. That foul goes against Ryan Hoover of Notre Dame. David Vanderpool will come in now for the Bonnies. Nee Nelson Richards, big part of the combination with Garland Mance to produce one turnover bucket. Lamar Justice in now for the Irish. And Hoover will go to the side.
As we mentioned earlier, this is a very, very important game for both teams. And they're playing that way. They're playing with a great deal of enthusiasm, a great deal of aggressiveness. Not a very skillful game so far, for sure. But certainly putting a lot of effort into this one.
Shandu McNeil ties it with that free throw. Yeah, you too could see a gorilla here at the Riley Center.
Nice atmosphere.
Outstanding atmosphere.
Yep.
Up to the side. Quackenbush back in for the Bonnies up front. The diminutive one, Shandu McNeil. 5'7", 155 pounds, out of Archbishop Malloy High School. Drains that, and the Bonnies have the lead, 24-23.
Shandu McNeil doesn't look tight, though, does he?
No.
He's playing with a lot of confidence this evening.
Almost stolen away. Williams, Justice.
Good reaction by the Bonnies to get back in. They're looking to go to Monty Williams. They're able to go.
Scramble on the floor. Gotch, fouled by Quackenbush. Pair of 40s there.
Uh-oh, we got a little action in here with Harry Moore and Monty Williams.
That's just what both teams want, the fans want, to have the top players of both sides get involved and then maybe tossed out.
They don't need that. That's for absolutely sure. Monty Williams, David Vanderpool having some words early. We'll see it end up. A lot of action. They were just to the right of the screen there. A couple guys still laying on the floor banging each other. But Vanderpool and Williams are, as I mentioned to you before, certainly grew up in the same neighborhood. That doesn't mean they're buddies, but they grew up in the same neighborhood.
Yeah, a lot of guys from my neighborhood I still don't get along with. Gotch misses the first.
Not an easy situation for Monty Williams, though. Considered one of the top 5 players in the country at the small forward position. Doesn't have any help really to go with him.
He has to do way too much.
Yeah, he's just banged every time down the court by 2 or 3 people. So I think it's a real difficult situation. He's really kept in school. Graduated last year.
Yep.
He's into graduate school right now. Very bright young man. Has had some physical problems. Overcame those. So here's another bang. Jeff Quackenbush gets caught elbow and Grosh on the inside.
And they're being told now to calm things down a little bit by the officials.
Yeah.
Quackenbush with his second foul. Jim Barron, the Bonnies coach, an assistant for 6 years under Digger Phelps at Notre Dame.
Certainly has some ties to South Bend. Wife Cindy is from the South Bend area. And Jim's done a fine job here at Bonaventure. Both Jim Barron and John McLeod have very difficult jobs. John McLeod is in a situation where it's not the Notre Dame of old because of what we've already talked about earlier in the league situation. And Jim Barron comes into a situation here where the team hasn't won in a long time. He's trying to build it from the bottom up, and he certainly is doing a good job of it.
Jason Williams just scored his first point, and the second one rattles out on him. So 1 and 2 from the line. Vanderpool takes the clear with 4 minutes to go in the half. Notre Dame leading by 1. Quackenbush from Vanderpool.
David Vanderpool with a good penetration. I still like to see Shandu McNeil take the ball down the middle, make something happen himself, and let David Vanderpool finish it instead of trying to create it himself.
Let him be the Kevin Porter type.
Yep.
Who you know isn't necessarily going to finish the play, but really sets it up. Justice.
Struggling on trying to get something off of Shandu. Has another steal by Vanderpool. He'll go right to the hole. And draw the
floor. And the floor. Kozin really hammered him. And I hope Vanderpool isn't seriously hurt there.
I'll tell you what, Peter. I'm glad I'm sitting over here instead of being out in the field. out on the floor here. A field is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's like a football game.
I wouldn't want to be wearing one of the striped shirts tonight, because this game is the style of play that's being employed, as you pointed out, very physical. It's really going to have to become, if it is to be a gentleman's game, the remainder of tonight, a free throw contest.
Absolutely.
Jim Barron on the public address system talking to the fans, asking them to clean things up a little bit if they possibly could.
Yep, just keep it clean. I'd like to see that. Shows a lot of class by Jimmy Barron. You certainly don't want to turn the fans off, but you want to make sure it's done in the correct way. Vanderpool really took a fall there on his left hand.
That was Cozen's second foul. Now Billy Taylor reports in, and Gotch, the project, finds his way back on the bench with 3:26 to go in the half.
This would be a serious blow to Bonaventure if David Vanderpool, if this hampers his play, but it is his left hand. But you'll see his wrist is really, he's away from the ball somewhat.
Crawls over for him. Take a look at the play again.
You knew he was going right to the hole. There was no pass on this one. Takes it in hard, and Cozen really hammers him coming across the arm.
Looked every bit of Jim Loskatoff to me on that one. 7 points now for Vanderpool.
Yes, sir. Bonaventure survived the onslaught and has come back to take the 3-point lead.
3:26 to go. Back in a moment on the Empire Sports Network.
Buffalo Brewing Company, we put a little bit of the old country into every beer we make. We import only the choicest hops, yeast, and barley malt from Germany and brew them in copper kettles. So when you pick up a bottle of Buffalo Lager, you'll find only 4 ingredients. No chemicals, no preservatives. Bring home the old country. Taste the all-natural, world-class hometown brew. Buffalo Lager and Buffalo Light. Real beer, the way it should be.
Do you have what it takes to be part of the Sabres power play? Well then, how about the Gulf Oil Premium Power Play Sweepstakes? I want you to join me, Dave Hannon, and the rest of the Buffalo Sabres as we take you on the road to Quebec and Ottawa. Hey, we'll even let you fly in our team plane and stay in our hotel. You could also win autographed jerseys, sticks, plus more.
Join Dave and take your best shot. Register today at participating Gulf Oil outlets. No purchase necessary.
A 3-point St. Bonaventure lead, and they had to really struggle back to take this lead here tonight. Notre Dame was out in front early, and then it was the story of the 3-point bucket that brought the Bonnies back. The crosstown rivalry continues in the state of Michigan. The Michigan State Spartans skate against the Wolverines of Michigan Friday night at 7, right here on Empire Sports Network, the place for great hockey action. Yeah, Ron Mason and his Spartans, they go against Red Berenson and his Wolverines coming up Friday night.
Red Berenson.
The great Red Berenson.
Wow, the great Red Berenson.
St. Bonaventure, there you see the run, 11-4 for the Bonnies in the last 4:16.
Well, they not only have been playing with the same kind of aggressiveness Bonaventure has, but they've also played with a little bit more adeptness on the offensive end.
Quite a bit more.
Bonnies have done a nice job trapping, though, and keeping Notre Dame off balance. They really haven't been able to get the ball to Monty Williams, and of course he doesn't have a great many weapons to help him out. Karofsky's knee really looks like it's bothered him. He's laboring every time coming through.
Yeah, it does. And just watch yourself in chart. How many good entry passes have you seen Notre Dame put in tonight into the side to Monty Williams, or for that matter, even doing a good job getting Ryan Hoover in shooting position for his trays.
This really has to frustrate a great coach like John McLeod, who's won so many games at so many places. Here's another trap as Karofsky turns his back, gets bailed out on the foul. He really made a mistake by getting caught in a corner here of the half-court line.
Dave Vanderpool with the foul, his second. Here it is again.
Yeah, he turns, and all of a sudden there's 3 guys right there. Kind of a cheap foul, but they call it. But back John McLeod, who's coached it certainly in the NBA at the Phoenix Suns for 14 years, Dallas for a couple of years, Oklahoma for 6 years, the Knicks. He's had great success every place he's gone. This has to be a real frustrating situation for him, certainly.
You think about him, and he really survived coaching in Dallas. You take a look at what that's like right now.
I mean, they traded all of his real good players away from him. He was able to get out of there, get to the Knicks, and then fulfill a lifetime dream and come back to the Fighting Irish. And he was, of course, a boxing sparring partner of Jimmy Ellis.
He said that was not the most intelligent part of his life.
No, I don't think so. He must have done that when he was young and impetuous.
Carl Kozin now with the 3 fouls. Gotch will come in for him for Notre Dame. Quackenbush to the side as well for St. Bonaventure. And to see his first action now tonight, Sidney Shelton, the 6'7" left-handed shooting sophomore forward.
Comes in to protect any of the big people to make sure they don't get their third. Give him a couple minutes, get his feet wet for the big stretch run in the second half.
7 points unofficially for Harry Moore. 2:55 left in the first half.
Points are certainly coming hard to come by in tonight's game, so everyone is important, especially the foul shots here.
Well, Harry Moore, 5 of his 8 from there, and what was that?
Trap has really hurt Notre Dame. Tim Barron's done a very good job throwing some half-court pressure on. Notre Dame has not handled it well at all.
Well, he was drilling his players this afternoon about 3 o'clock or so here in the Riley Center court about how Notre Dame doesn't play defense well and doesn't handle defensive pressure that well.
Played defense well right there.
Yeah.
Monty Williams makes a great steal by fronting Harry Moore down low. It's a terrific matchup right there. 2 marquee players, Moore and Williams. Both will be playing someplace next year.
Karowski, well, he was airborne and bailed out by being able to find Monty Williams.
Karowski's real slow with the ball.
Threw behind Williams there.
Yep, real slow with the ball, really struggling to get his game in gear. Looks like more of a shooter than he is a ball handler. And right now they put him into a position where he's handling the ball. That's not his strength.
Shandu McNeil in. Mance to the side. Ryan Hoover back in for Notre Dame. 2:12 to go in the half. This is Shandu McNeil, the freshman point guard for the Bonnies. Nee Nelson Richards. Outside Vanderpool. McNeil. Richards, 18 on the shot clock. Inside Shelton. He loses the ball turning inside. Now, Monty Williams turns the corner against Vanderpool and slams it home.
Hello.
Nice step there, huh?
Hello. He said, I think I'll just take it in and dunk it off with one hard dribble. You can tell that he's a very, very good player. He's so smooth in everything he does. He played on the USA All-Star team last summer in the under-22 that won the gold. Excellent, excellent player.
Well, he has half of his team's 30 points. And Nelson Richards to the floor, a tie-up. And it goes on alternate possession to Notre Dame.
Nelson Richards still struggling on the offensive end to make something happen. He lost control of the ball right there and fell. Shandu McNeil, it's hard for a freshman to do this, but he really has to control the ball almost exclusively for this team.
Hoover crosses the timeline right.
I can't see either team running away and hiding from the other at this time.
Well, see Gotch running and traveling.
That time, yeah, he tried to run it, but couldn't quite get there.
St. Bonaventure substitution. Ryan Glidden, the freshman, will see his first action.
Gotch really playing an awful lot this evening. Both Rosses have a few fouls on him. Joe Ross has 3, and so Gotch is getting some quality time.
Kozin has 3 as well up front. Shelton outside for St. Bonaventure. 1 minute to play in the half.
Oh, nice cut to the ball by Vanderpool as Shelton was in deep trouble.
Glidden for the 3.
He's a shooter. Every time Jim Barron puts him in the game, he knocks one down. And that'll help loosen up the defense.
Big time. St. Bonaventure up by 5, as you see, lower right corner. Hoover being watched by Glidden. A couple of 3-point shooters out against one another.
Glidden, an Indiana guy.
Gotch, a fadeaway. Hey, he's Wilt.
With the touch. Gotch has some serious work to do in the weight room in the offseason. But, of course, Notre Dame doesn't redshirt players.
Right.
They don't redshirt them for anything other than a physical reason. And there's a perfect example of a young man who probably needs to spend 1 full year working on his game, lifting weights.
And he averaged 9 blocks a game in his senior year at Friendswood, Texas.
Great defense right there by Monty Williams. Terrific defense.
Pushing off, Monty Williams gets the rebound. Outlet Hoover. And with 1 second to go, the 3-pointer is wide. So at the half, after a bad start, St. Bonaventure has the lead on Notre Dame. St. Bonaventure 33, the Fighting Irish 30. We'll have much more to come. Our halftime activities coming up, including a look back at the Little Three on the Empire Sports Network.
Yeah, they all look innocent enough until they start ganging up on you. Then you'll be glad you invested in the security of Jeep Grand Cherokee. With full-time four-wheel drive, an optional V8, four-wheel anti-lock brakes, and a driver's side airbag. Because when you're outnumbered millions to one, you need all the help you can get. Now save up to $1,500 on Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo V8.
See your local Jeep and Eagle dealer.
At Fire Sale Outlet, everything is at least 50% off. Why? Because at Fire Sale Outlet, our merchandise is recovered and salvaged from insurance losses like fires, floods, you name it. And just look at some of the things you'll save on. School supplies starting at 49 cents. Women's and men's shoes and work boots, just $5.99. And wallpaper, $3.99 will roll. Over 30,000 rolls to choose from. So remember, it's Fire Sale Outlet on Walden, next to the Super Flea Market.
Inside Sports Magazine. If you're into sports, you already know the score. But for the real story, you've got to get inside. Only Inside Sports gives you the color, the commentary, the controversy, the consensus. Doug Collins and Bill Walton analyze the Shack Attack. Thomas Boswell proves why Barry Bonds is the best player alive. Bob Trumpy sizes up the road to the Super Bowl. You'll get 10 issues of Inside Sports, including our preseason preview editions. You'll also get our spectacular swimsuit issue. And with your paid subscription, a special bonus, 8 issues of Basketball Digest. No real fan should be without it. Order your subscription now and save over 63% off the cover price. A total of 18 issues for 3 monthly payments of only $7.31 each. Get more than the score. Get the inside story. Get Inside Sports and Basketball Digest today.
Call now 1-800-807-7700.
St. Bonaventure with the 3-point lead over the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame at the half. Pete Weber along with Jim Satlin and Don McNeil here this evening. Yeah, it was a very good start for the Fighting Irish, and then St. Bonaventure came back, getting 3-point buckets from Harry Moore, Garland Mance, Dave Vanterpool in the early going, and later from Jeff Quackenbush and Ryan Glidden to get things kick-started for themselves. Harry Moore, the leading scorer for St. Bonaventure in the first half with 8. Monty Williams, without much of a supporting cast for the Fighting Irish, with a total of 15. After this one, the Bonnies will be playing at Niagara on Saturday at the Convention Center. Then, Tuesday night the 25th, they'll be back up and the odd in Western New York to go against Canisius College before they host West Virginia here a week from Saturday the 29th. Well, been some changes at the top. Administration for St. Bonaventure, and with a special interview with the outgoing and incoming presidents, here he is, Don McClain.
Hi, everyone. We're here at courtside at halftime of the game. St. Bonaventure leading Notre Dame 33-30. And with me is the president of St. Bonaventure, Sister Alice Gallen. And Sister, I know you have a few ties to Notre Dame. How are you rooting?
Oh, I'm rooting for Bonaventure. There's no doubt about it.
Sister, you've been the what they call the interim president, but actually in life we're all interim, aren't we?
More or less, but this has been a special kind of change of occupation and a new experience here at Bonaventure.
Sister, tell me a little bit about your time at St. Bonaventure. Had you been here before?
No, well, I've been a trustee for 4 years, but I'm also a trustee at Notre Dame for about 6 or 8 years. And when they needed a new president, they decided they'd take a little breathing space. And I filled in the breathing space until we now have Dr. Wickenheiser with us. And I'm ready to retire and go home again.
What are you going to do when you retire, when you leave here?
Well, I had started writing a book on Catholic higher education, and Notre Dame and Bonaventure are part of that, and I'm going to go home and write the book.
Where's your original home, sister?
New Rochelle, New York. Went to college there. I'm an Ursuline nun at New Rochelle, but now I live in Washington.
Yeah, Washington, D.C.?
Yes.
Good, and that's where you're going to be writing the book?
That's right.
Well, I'm sure that we'll all be very, very interested in hearing about it and learning about it from you.
Thank you.
And Sister, I want to thank you on behalf of a lot of people from this area, the great job you did as president while you were here.
Thanks. It's been wonderful to be here.
Sister Alice Gallen, who is the president of St. Bonaventure, and now I want you to meet a gentleman who is the first lay president of St. Bonaventure University, Dr. Robert Wickenheiser. Dr. Wickenheiser, welcome to the Olean area.
Thank you very much. It's exciting to be here, and I can't think of a better time to come. It may be a little snowy outside, but it's very warm in here.
It was a little cooler earlier before the ball game, but once this crowd got going, it got very warm.
Well, they probably kept it cool, realizing that there was going to be a lot of activity, and it's good to see the place filled. It's good to see enthusiasm, excitement, and actually, from my perspective, recognizing Sister Alice as a trustee of Notre Dame, I'm much happier to see St. Bonnie ahead of Notre Dame at this point.
Well, I want to ask you something. I thought it was interesting in your press conference the other day at Bonaventure. You said you first heard about St. Bonaventure on the radio out in North Dakota playing a basketball game.
Well, when I was growing up, and I think it was 7th and 8th grade, I used to listen to the Holy Cross St. Bonaventure games. And that was a day and age, of course, when you didn't necessarily root for any school, or if you did, you picked up the school. I happened to pick up St. Bonnie in the sense that I listened to them for several years, and so they became my team at a distance. I was using that, as you remember, because when I was asked the question about sports, I felt it was kind of a nice way to get people to realize what a school is all about.
Just briefly, in the little time we have left, what do you look forward to at St. Bonaventure?
Oh, I look forward to, we're at a time where I think we can move forward with enthusiasm, with some excitement. It's exciting to be the first lay president. I think that's a bold move on the part of the board, and it's my intention to act as boldly as the board did in naming me, and 5 years from now come back and ask whether or not all these things that I'm talking about actually came true.
Thank you very much. Dr. Robert Wickenheiser, the new president of St. Bonaventure, Sister Alice Gallen, who will be leaving February 1st. The score here at halftime is St. Bonaventure 33, Notre Dame 30. This is the Empire Sports Network.
Attention sports fans, when you need a score on any game, call Scores Coast to Coast. The fastest sports scores anywhere. Not only do you get the fastest scores, you also get current Las Vegas lines updated every hour, as well as injuries, trends, weather, and more 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Everything a serious sports fan needs, absolutely free, on a recorded message. The fastest scores anywhere. Quick, someone just scored. Call Scores Coast to Coast.
Do you have what it takes to be part of the Sabres power play? Well then, how about the Gulf Oil Premium Power Play Sweepstakes? I want you to join me, Dave Hannon, and the rest of the Buffalo Sabres as we take you on the road to Quebec and Ottawa. Hey, we'll even let you fly in our team plane and stay in our hotel. You could also win autographed jerseys, sticks, plus more.
Join Dave and take your best shot. Register today at participating Gulf Oil outlets. No purchase necessary.
St. Bonaventure leading Notre Dame here at the half, 33-30. You know, Notre Dame has a great tradition, but so does the Little Three. And we have some interesting thoughts about the Little Three.
His most famous coaches was Eddie Donovan. Eddie coached Bona from 1954 through 1961. And here you see his 1960 NIT squad defeat Niagara behind Tom and Sam Stitt. When you talk about great teams, you have to talk about the 1970 Final Four squad led by Bob Lanier. The team went 25-3 and finished 4th in the nation. Fred Handler was an assistant to head coach Larry Weese, and he talks about how the Little Three rivalry started for a freshman named Bob Lanier.
During their freshman year, in those days, we still had freshman team, and it took them a while to get into the spirit. But once the freshmen played against Canisius freshmen and Irish freshmen, they got the message. They knew this was what it was all about.
The Little Three rivaled any conference in the nation at the time. Just ask Bob Lanier.
This Little Three was the most fascinating experience. I don't think that you could have a better experience. You know, you look at the SEC, the ACC, the Big East, all that. The Little Three was like that 20 years ago. They're like that now, but we were like that 20 years ago. You come down here in the auditorium and play, or play up at St. Bonaventure University, you couldn't get any better than that.
Bob Sassone was an assistant to head coach Jim Saddlein on the 1977 NIT championship team, and he talks about the pressure of a Little 3 game.
I still think there's that pressure because we're in Western New York, and Niagara, Canisius, and Bonnie play each other, and I'm glad we're playing each other twice again because the people in Western New York think basketball begins with the Little 3. And I hope that they continue successfully, and I hope Bonaventure gets back on a trail because it is a great thing. And I think back to when Frank Layden was coaching there, and they had Calvin Murphy, and we had Bob Lanier, and we never lost to them when they had Calvin, but we had some great games against them.
Today, Bonaventure is coached by Jim Barron. Jim's team is in one of the toughest conferences in the nation. He talks about how the Little 3 rivalry has changed because of conference play, but it is still important.
I do think that when you are in conferences, it really it dissipates rivalries from the standpoint that you're playing against so many other teams and other opponents. But I think that this tradition goes way, way back, and I think you know, it has to be reminded to the players of how strong of a rivalry it is. And I know for myself, being back here, it is important games for us.
Fred Handler not only believes in the future of the Little 3, but can also see a reemergence.
I think so. I think the alums, not just the older alums, but I think as the students graduate now from the 3 schools, I think they feel that this is important. It's bragging rights for particularly Western New York, so I think it'll continue.
St. Bonaventure basketball has a long history of excellent basketball teams. Head coach Jim Barron, with help from players like Harry Moore, will continue that tradition.
The Little 3. It's always been exciting basketball in Western New York. Bonaventure leading Notre Dame 33-30. This is the Empire Sports Network.
Is the gray in your mustache or beard making you look too old? Now there's new Just for Men brush-in color gel, specially for the hard-to-color hair of mustaches and beards. This brush-in gel stays put to penetrate hard-to-color hair. In 5 minutes, rinse. Your mustache or beard blends with your natural hair color, and it won't fade or wash out.
Now that's a lot better.
New Just for Men color gel from the leader in men's hair coloring.
Here at the Riley Center. Pete Weber along with Jim Satlin and Don McLean. Yeah, a big first half this evening for Monty Williams. We'll take a look at the some of the highlights here for you that we have put together. First, it's been a scrappy first half, has it not? Monty Williams off this one.
Is a kind way to say it.
A little rough every now and then. The alley-oop from Hoover to Monty Williams there.
Monty Williams is a big-time player that's going to be playing on somebody's NBA team next year, though. Here they finally, well, not to Harry Moore, but to Shelton, and he gets it tipped away. Bonnies have to find a better way to get the ball inside to Harry Moore. Here Notre Dame tries to run. Monty Williams says, I'll just drive it right in there and dunk it and catch it and then give it to you, too.
An outstanding acceleration bit there. Now here, a steal. Garland Nance coming up with that.
Yep, Brian Hoover makes the mistake, and Nance puts the left-handed dunk down. I got a feeling that this one's going to go down to the end, though. I just can't see either one of these teams running away.
Well, we were talking about the shooting percentages for the two teams here tonight. I'm surprised Notre Dame's is as close to 50% as that. St. Bonaventure just under 35%. Both 50% three-point territory.
Yep.
Free throws, the turnovers.
Yeah, that's pretty equal. Rebounds pretty equal. Score pretty equal. Everything. You know, interestingly, Bonaventure lets their opponent shoot about 46% from the field during the year, 47%. Notre Dame is right on that mark now. Bonnies shoot about 38 themselves. They got to get it up a little bit to get to that spot.
Monty Williams with 15. Supporting him, Ryan Hoover with 6. St. Bonaventure a little bit more evenly distributed. Harry Moore with 8. David Vanderpool with 7. And Garland Mance behind that total with 6. Now in the Atlantic 10, Duquesne.
Wow.
The second half up by 16 on URI.
At Rhode Island. Rhode Island is kind of kicking it in, folks.
George Washington over St. Joe's by 4 and waiting for Marshall and West Virginia. Down in a big battle there.
Down in Charleston. They play one game a year down in the Mountaineer State.
We'll be back with second half action. Can Notre Dame get someone in support of Monty Williams, and can St. Bonaventure keep putting on the pressure defensively?
Hi, I'm Paul McGuire, and for 11 years I've had the pleasure to talk to the greatest sports fans in America right here on the Budweiser Sports Line. I've also had the pleasure of introducing some of the biggest names in sports. It happens every Tuesday on the Empire Sports Network.
Sportsline with Paul McGuire, Tuesday nights live at 7 on Empire Sports Network.
Dunkirk, New York, an Empire Sports Network hometown.
Empire Sports Network. It's our sports network. Go Sabres! Go Orangemen!
Empire Sports Network. It's our sports network.
Just about ready for second half action. St. Bonaventure with the lead, 33-30 here on the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. John McLeod in his huddle with the Fighting Irish. And McLeod hoping that he can create something else offensively rather than just getting the ball to Monty Williams. So Notre Dame comes out with Williams, Justice, Joe Ross, Cozen, and Hoover. And the Bonnies again a 27-14 run since the 11:25 point of the opening period.
Well, Notre Dame, looking at it from their side, they've got to get some other people involved here. Monty Williams has 15 out of the 30. Ryan Hoover's only taken 2 shots, has 6 points, 2 for 2. He has to be able to get the ball a little bit quicker. Might have a little leak here from the roof.
Yeah. Had that experience last night prior to the Canisius-Cornell game.
Well, the snow is so heavy and the ice is so thick that when the warming global trend here has hit Olean today, now it's only 18 below instead of 23 below.
Does this have something to do with the ozone layer?
Yeah, that big thing up there on the top that you can see through, and you get burned if you. No, that's when you look at the sun and you get.
Yeah, during an eclipse.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about that right now.
Oh, that's right. We're talking about something else. Now, wait a minute, guys.
Ron Foxtrot wants to talk to John McLeod.
Yeah, he's saying, well, shall we play, guys? There was water coming in here. I don't think we're going to play. They can't afford to take any kind of a chance on something like this.
So if this does...
the most important man in the house right now is the maintenance man.
No question about it.
He's got to climb the steps. He's got to get up to the top.
And he's the guy who won the pizza, I think.
And he won the pizza, and he's got to get some gum. And he's got to stick it on one of those things up on top there and plug the hole.
Now, if this does cause an interruption in play, we will rack up the videotape of Jim Saddleton and myself playing one-on-one.
You don't really want to do that, though. I don't think you'd want to embarrass all your family and friends up in the Buffalo area.
And all the people who are watching on satellite dishes throughout the Midwest tonight wondering how possibly a Notre Dame grad could be working with a St. Bonaventure grad on a broadcast of this magnitude.
Well, I think that...
they paid us, I guess.
Yeah, they gave us some money to do it, and I'll work with anybody. I mean, I'm not particular on something like that. Heck, I've worked with worse guys than you.
Oh, thank you.
A lot better, but worse guys than you. Oh, happy birthday! Is it your birthday today?
Absolutely.
Honestly.
Yes. I didn't change the date or anything like that.
So you're hoping for a big day. You're hoping for the birthday, the Notre Dame victory, you're looking for a little bit of everything.
I'm hoping my car doesn't have a flat tire when I get home.
Go outside. You're hoping that the drip stops here. There he is right there. That's who's getting up there. Who's going to go up there? Not me, big fella.
That's the question.
Not I.
I mean, Ghostbusters, I think, is closed right now.
Yeah.
So I don't think you're going to be able to go there. We will take a timeout here while they decide.
Where's Herm Blue when you really need him?
Who's the lucky guy? Don McLean, they're trying to hold him down now. He wants to go up on the roof and clean it off. We'll be back with more in a moment on the Empire Sports Network.
Attention sports fans, when you need a score on any game, call Scores Coast to Coast. The fastest sports scores anywhere. Not only do you get the fastest scores, you also get current Las Vegas lines updated every hour, as well as injuries, trends, weather, and more 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Everything a serious sports fan needs absolutely free on a recorded message. The fastest scores anywhere. Quick, someone just scored. Call Scores Coast to Coast.
Do you have what it takes to be part of the Sabres power play? Well then, how about the Gulf Oil Premium Power Play Sweepstakes? I want you to join me, Dave Hannon, and the rest of the Buffalo Sabres as we take you on the road to Quebec and Ottawa. Hey, we'll even let you fly in our team plane and stay in our hotel. You could also win autographed jerseys, sticks, plus more.
Join Dave and take your best shot. Register today at participating Gulf Oil outlets. No purchase necessary.
Being a fan is tough when your team isn't the home team, especially when I try to find coverage of my favorite team in the local paper. I'm lucky there's even a box score. Well, if you're like me, you'll be happy to know there's one publication that'll make you feel right at home. The Sporting News. You'll love the Sporting News no matter what team you love, even if it is the home team.
Call this number now and get 4 issues of the Sporting News free. You'll get opinions and strategies, transactions, trade rumors, injury reports, and the lowdown on the minors. Plus football, basketball, and hockey all year long. Call now and you'll get 4 free issues. If you like them, you'll get 24 more issues at this great TV price. If not, just mark the bill, cancel, and owe nothing. The 4 issues are yours to keep.
So call now for the Sporting News, the publication that treats every team like the home team.
Call now and get 4 great issues of the Sporting News free.
Call 1-800-323-1400 now.
33-30 St. Bonaventure. A hold up before the start of the second half. We have a wet floor condition on either side. As you can see right now, the water dripping down from the ceiling on either side of the center jump circle. So trying to decide how they're going to be able to remedy that. In the meantime, both teams going through warm-ups once again.
We did come up with a solution.
Yeah, at least one. And I think this is a very plausible one.
Thank you very much. I think we should play 4-on-4 half court. We'll send the guys in stripes home. They haven't done a whole lot in the first half anyway, so we'll send them home. And call your own foul. May the best team win. You can coach one team and I'll coach the other.
That'd be fine. The coaches go home as well. They go back up. Okay. Well, we want to remind you, Empire Sports Network continuing its award-winning coverage of high school sports every Friday night at 10:30 on High School Highlights. Check it out. Very special High School Highlights show coming up this week from the brand new Empire Network studios. Keeping up to date on all the high school scores, Section 6, 5, and 3.
Tell me about the, let's talk a little bit about the Notre Dame and Big East rumors and what's happening in that situation.
There's some interesting politics, believe it or not, being played out in college sports, but a very popular report of late is the solution for Notre Dame, and DePaul, for that matter, that they are being recruited by the Big East to join as basketball-playing members only. Now, Notre Dame has a little bit of power to wield in this regard, and you don't think there's going to be any way they're going to give up their independent status in football.
No, absolutely not.
To get basketball entry. However, what does Miami feel like after they were, for lack of a better word right now, hornswoggled into joining the Big East on both the football and basketball basis?
Well, my sources, I'm talking to a lot of people in the Big East, and Tom McElroy, former sports information director here. I think that the 4 football-only schools, West Virginia, Temple, Virginia Tech, and Rutgers, are in the Big East. I really believe that they're going to be accepted.
That's another part of this whole story.
Yep, and they're going to make that, they're going to solidify the football situation. They'll have 2 17 divisions in basketball. They have 14. I think they have to. I mean, if Seton Hall and Providence and St. John's and Georgetown, those are the 4 Catholic schools, don't count Villanova. Oh, we got a guy up on top.
Yeah. We have a steeplejack up there, and people are praying for him already. But to continue with the story on all of that, The Big East was built also on getting good television markets. DePaul and Notre Dame give them the Chicago market.
It does, but I don't know if they need the Chicago market. That's one of the concerns. I don't know whether the Catholic schools that are in the league presently want to share as much as the other players tell them they have to share, the other schools. I think it's silly if Seton Hall or somebody bites off their nose despite their face at this point. They've got to realize times are changing. They've got to go with the flow. If those 4 teams decide not to stay in the league, being the West Virginia and so on, I got to believe that Syracuse, BC, Miami, and Pittsburgh are also going to leave. They're going to find their own way. They're not going to, they're in a football league right now, and that's a very important part of that whole package. So I got to think that those 4 are going to find their way someplace. Supposedly the ACC, now here's another rumor.
Yes.
Supposedly the ACC is courting Syracuse and Boston College. So with that kind of pressure on Mike Tranghese in the Big East, I think you're going to see some movement, some quick things happening. But getting back to Notre Dame, where's that affect Notre Dame? They've got to go somewhere. Notre Dame would be a perfect fit in the Big East, quite frankly, because academically they are very similar to schools like Georgetown and Boston College. Very high,
very similar to Boston College in particular.
Absolutely. So I got to think that there's a real possibility that maybe they'll make it a 16-team basketball league. I don't know. I mean, if you're going to play 7, you can play 8 just as easily too, I think. But something has to happen with Notre Dame's status for sure. They have to help themselves out in some way. But I think there's going to be some movement in offline. What's it do to the Atlantic 10? If those teams, if West Virginia, if Rutgers, if Temple leaves the Atlantic 10, that puts a big hurt on that program, in that league also.
That it does. So we're talking about splintering of some conferences to build up others, and the likelihood maybe of others withering and needing to form alliances with other schools or excluded from a similar arrangement.
Now I think the Atlantic 10 really wanted Xavier to come in to try to solidify that position. The other teams in the league, especially the football teams, decided they didn't want to go that route. So there's a lot of jockeying around now. Each team needs, I know the Big East needs 7 of their 10 members to vote on expansion, which means they've got to get some of those Catholic schools that are non-football playing schools to say, yes, this is the route we're going to go. It's really up to, as much as anything else, Peter, it's really up to Mike Tranghese to show some real strength and power to be able to persuade the presidents and athletic directors at these other schools to make that kind of a decision.
This is politics sports, college sports style. That's the way it goes.
That's part of it.
We're waiting for them to take care of things up on the roof, dry things up on the floor as a result. So yes, folks, this is NCAA basketball in a rain delay at the Riley Center in Olean. 33-30, St. Bonaventure leading Notre Dame. Back with more in a moment on the Empire Sports Network.
Eastern Hills Mall, Q102, and Empire Sports Network want to show you how to turn your mall receipts into thousands of dollars in valuable prizes in the Eastern Hills Mall Frequent Shopper Program. Visit the Prize Center in the mall center concourse for details. Hi, this is Q102's Rob Lucas. Join me on the first Saturday of each month from 2 to 6 p.m. That's when we'll do a live broadcast from Eastern Hills Mall and announce that month's Frequent Shopper Prize Pack winners. Be a winner. Be a Frequent Shopper at Eastern Hills Mall.
Hi, I'm Ed Kilgore. Join Art Wander, Larry Felser, and me for Pros and Cons Wednesday night at a special time of 9:30.
This week we'll be talking about the Bills playoff game against the Raiders. We'll also be chatting about college basketball.
That's right, Larry, because our guest is going to be Empire's expert basketball analyst. Pete Lonergan's going to be here with us.
So join us for Pros and Cons at a special time right after the Notre Dame game here on the Empire Sports Network.
Pete Weber along with Jim Sadlin here courtside at the Riley Center. We don't know how much longer it's going to be before we get play back. We are looking up in the rafters, the Riley Center, right now, and they are trying to find the source of the precipitation we have had in either half of the court so far. In the meantime, while we are solving the problems of the world,
we are,
and trying to do that for you, because of the problems that there have been with conferences and the various alliances in college sports, there is the difficulty also between the whole aspect we brought up, the difference between primarily football institutions and primarily basketball institutions, though they might field teams in both sports, and how different the needs can be for both programs within the context of one school.
Absolutely, but the bottom line is the money. You know, football is the money sport, and you're talking about playing 5 or 6 games a year where they draw 60 or 70,000 people. They put a lot of money in the coffers for these programs. But you're absolutely right in the sense that any team that is automatically good in basketball is not necessarily automatically good in football, and vice versa.
We've seen that here tonight.
We've seen it in Miami also. We've seen it tonight here, definitely. But we certainly have seen it with Miami. The only reason Miami went in the Big East was to help their football, or to help their basketball program. The interesting part about Notre Dame is that the contract they just signed with CBS, I believe, wasn't it? Or was it? No, NBC. They've signed there for 4 or 5 years.
They're going to be to the year 2000.
Yeah, and that really helps their basketball program. Football doesn't need that kind of help. Basketball is going to have 4 live performances for the next 7 years. That makes a big difference recruiting-wise.
Guaranteed appearances like that, a tremendous difference. People don't realize, really, Jim, how the Big East, a lot of schools put together out of nothingness and all of a sudden into a very strong group of schools, basketball-playing schools, how their recruiting was improved by packages such as the Big East package on Monday night and Saturday afternoon, where all of a sudden kids from California who never would have thought of going to a Syracuse or a Seton Hall are considering it because of that chance to be on TV.
Same thing has happened in the Atlantic 10 now. You look at a team like Massachusetts. Temple built their whole recruiting base on the fact that they would go and play good teams away from home as long as it was going to be on TV. Mass is doing the same thing right now. West Virginia's done it. So you have to be on the tube, unfortunately, in order to get the kind of exposure which then necessitates the recruiting of the type of player to be able to play those teams and not get hammered when you're on TV.
Speaking of the Atlantic 10, we have some of the scores and catch you up to date on those. Taking a look here in the second half. Duquesne, a 21-point lead on URI. Duquesne did the number of the Fighting Irish on Saturday night, and they have a young guy in Derek Alston who is really beginning to establish himself now up front.
He's a very good player, and Duquesne is really playing well lately. And to go out and win at Rhode Island, although Rhode Island's best player was ruled academically ineligible, but nonetheless to go out there and win as handily as they are is a nice game for them.
The enthusiasm that has been in this community coming into this game is such that no number of postponements so far or anything like this slowing down the start of the second half is quelling the enthusiasm in the
Yes,
stands.
it is, but this is like the World Series baseball game. They're going to play this one no matter what. We'll wait this one out until about 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock at night until they get this one in.
We're going to see what possibly happens. In the meantime, while we're waiting for the resumption of play here, we're going to join a program in progress. Prime Cuts coming up. It's 33:30 when we start second half action. We will rejoin immediately on the Empire Sports Network.
You're watching the Empire Sports Network, the home of hometown heroes.
Nice no-look pass to Robinson. They didn't make it in the wall. Oh, boy, what a catch.
Prime Cuts presents NBA Power Plays.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We tip things off at the Great Western Forum. And ready or not, Rodman, here comes the Lakers.
He makes it look so easy. And Rodman was showing off to the crowd. Smith stole the ball from him and slam dunk. Rodman was showing off to the crowd, and Smith raked the ball away.
Moving on to Minnesota, where the Wolves need a bucket, and Thurl bails them out.
Bailey, a big rebound. Oh, Thurl Bailey! Where in the world did you get that shot?
Odd number 8.
You're watching the Empire Sports Network, the home of hometown heroes.
Hope you enjoyed Prime Cut. You only had time for one, as we are right back here. Pete Weber, Jim Saddlin, and Don McLean. Ready to start the action now. The floor has been dried off, and the guys, are they still in the rafters? No, I think they're out of there by now.
We got to be careful. This might shift from one spot to another. The Dome in Syracuse just recently, they had to postpone a couple games because the snow was so heavy.
They had deflated on a Saturday night, right? Was that it?
Yeah, they did, and they played a couple exhibition games at Manley Fieldhouse.
The Puerto Rican Olympic team, I think.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. Puerto Rico was real happy. They came in and it was about 20 below zero. They played like it was about 20 below also.
Their shooting was that cold as well.
Real cold.
All right. Starting the second half action, Shandu McNeil off on the right side. Mance, Huff, flings it over to Vanderpool. He got the room, he got the steps, and he threw up a wild shot. And then knocks it away from Monty Williams from behind.
Monty Williams,
Notre Dame.
Yeah, Monty Williams is really a good rebounder in traffic, too. He's got great hands. He just seems to get everything down. He's got a real good body on him.
That's a special category, too, in traffic.
You're not kidding. A lot of people can rebound by themselves, but he really rebounds the ball well inside. Here, we talked about Ryan Hoover getting the ball more, looking to shoot the ball. Knocks down, they said a set play coming out of the huddle. Gets the three and knocks it down. Oh, they only give him 2 on that.
Only gave him 2.
On the line, yep.
So he has 8 points.
Only 3 shots, 3 for 3 from the field.
Shandu McNeil. Tough. He's going to take it if they give it to him. He missed it, but Vanderpool, the offensive rebound, and the score.
David Vanderpool can really hurt you in a number of different ways. When he's not shooting the ball well from the outside, he's got the capability, because he's so strong and 6'5", he can really get to the offensive board and hurt a team.
This is Lamar Justice to Hoover. Monty Williams on the right wing, watched by Mance. That could be a critical matchup. Mance maybe all over Williams, but he got free and underneath. Shovels it up and over. He has 17.
Tough defensive assignment for Garland Mance. He's 6'5", 6'4", playing against a 6'8" Monty Williams. He's going to have his hands full the whole second half.
Vanderpool outside right. Vanderpool much more comfortable playing in number 2. Moore. No, the 2-point try doesn't go. And who gets the rebound? But Monty Williams. Not exactly a heavy traffic rebound there.
No, but still a rebound nonetheless.
Notre Dame needs every little advantage it can get. Goes in outside. Justice. Now Williams again. Neal. Ross underneath. Nice little left-handed hook. Doesn't go, but hey, it's converted by Monty Williams.
Well, Garland Mance forgot to box out, and he's coming right out of the game. Lee Nelson Richards is coming in, but that's one thing you can ill afford to do, is not put a body on Monty Williams.
Shandu McNeil turned Hoover around.
See, the problem with that move, though, with Shandu, as Moore goes deep for the 3, is that Shandu can't finish it. He's got to be able to take it and go to the basket, or take it and shoot the jumper. Right now, he's not capable of doing that, being a freshman.
11 points for Harry Moore. There's 2 field goals, both of those 3-pointers. Monty Williams from 2-point range. Nope, Harry Moore clears it.
Monty Williams is the whole team. When you watch him do defensively, on the board, shoot the jumpers.
Vanderpool to the hole, stripped by Justice, got it back.
Kind of a choppy play right there. He got it hit, walked away from it, nothing called.
Mance for 3. Rebound Ross. Pushes it up for Williams. He goes to the hole. That'll be a charge. No, block. Yep, they called the block. I thought I saw a very well-developed elbow by Williams go out.
It looked that way, didn't it? Yeah, it sure did. And Garland Mance took a fall. Here's what we see is Monty Williams tries to go center. And he pushed him off, but I don't think he had position. And they're not going to give it to the defensive man too many times in that situation.
Mance picks up his 3rd foul and goes to the sideline. Notre Dame down by 2. Ross. Outside it goes. Jason Williams goes in looking as Monty Williams tries to get open. Hoover tipped away. Bodies come out with it. D. Nelson Richards.
See, that's where Richards has to help this team. If he's not shooting the ball well, then he has to come in and play some good, solid defense, make some things happen someplace else.
Shandu McNeil uses Quackenbush to clear left.
Notre Dame has played straight man the whole game. I'm surprised they haven't played a little bit of zone just to keep Bonaventure.
Nelson Richards can't hit the 3. Monty Williams has that step.
That's 2 also, I believe.
Yep.
On the way up, he calls. Oh, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Rich Sanfilippo calls it good.
Which way are we
Ronnie
going to go?
Foxcroft.
Going up, he said. He said going up.
An interesting call here in that Sanfilippo was calling it good. Foxcroft called it going up.
Well, that's why they have the three officials. So the other can make the decision like Solomon, right?
Right. This has been the Monty Williams show other than Hoover's first three-pointer jumper to start the half.
Williams shooting, and he gets his 21st point.
So effortlessly. So smooth the way he does things.
Game even, as you see, at the 16-minute-to-go mark.
Bonnies again have to look to try to get the ball inside, I think, to Harry Moore. Got to get him the ball in the box instead of too far out. Nice drive.
Vanderpool with the left hand.
That's where Vanderpool has an advantage, though, as he's going against Cozen or Monty Williams because he's smaller and quicker than either player.
Ross bounced past Cozen and he had to come out of the traffic. He was worried about Shandu McNeil.
I think he was. He thought Shandu was going to come up and do some damage. Nice pass.
Jason Williams, they try to save it. Taken by Nelson Richards, coming up 2-on-3. Holds up outside. Quackenbush inside against Hoover and uses the iron to protect the ball.
Nice play by Jeff Quackenbush. Good play by Nelson Richards. Under control, makes the scoring pass.
The Bonnies lead by 4. Notre Dame wants a timeout. They get it. 15:09 to go in the second half. St. Bonaventure leads by 4. We'll have more and keep the floor dry for you, too, on the Empire Sports Network.
Do you have what it takes to be part of the Sabres power play? Well then, how about the Gulf Oil Premium Power Play Sweepstakes? I want you to join me, Dave Hannon, and the rest of the Buffalo Sabres as we take you on the road to Quebec and Ottawa. Hey, we'll even let you fly in our team plane and stay in our hotel. You could also win autographed jerseys, sticks, plus more.
Join Dave and take your best shot. Register today at participating Gulf Oil outlets. No purchase necessary.
Attention sports fans, when you need a score on any game, call Scores Coast to Coast. The fastest sports scores anywhere. Not only do you get the fastest scores, you also get current Las Vegas lines updated every hour, as well as injuries, trends, weather, and more 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Everything a serious sports fan needs absolutely free on a recorded message. The fastest scores anywhere. Quick, someone just scored. Call Scores Coast to Coast.
St. Bonaventure led by 3 at the half. They're up by 4 now. Thanks in part to Quackenbush here, taking the good entry pass, faking Hoover, then using the iron on a reverse.
Very nice play by Jeff Quackenbush. He's a key player for this basketball team. He gives them a little bit of strength inside. He really needs to exert himself a little bit more often.
Have some more moisture. The referees during the timeout brought some people out with the towels to take a look. Atlantic 10 final. St. Joe's beat George Washington 63-56.
George Washington is struggling big time.
Oh, yeah. There you see tonight's attendance, the sellout.
Great to see.
6,000 plus.
Great to see that. Certainly Notre Dame had a lot to do with it, but it's great to see.
And literally there are people in the rafters tonight.
Yep. Oh.
Hoover, the three-point try. No. Rosen, the rebound, and saved by Jason Williams. Monty Williams. Joe Ross, the high post. There's Monty Williams. He'll put up the three-point try. No, and kept alive again by Cozen. But Hoover, oh, a hammering foul there. Vanderpool went over Cozen to get Hoover. Yeah, not too hard to call the foul.
No, I think that might have been a foul.
Yeah.
As we see a little collision right there. Pretty good play by Ryan Hoover, though, trying to get the three off, as you see. He makes a nice head fake. He knows he's going to get hammered. He said, let me get rid of that one. Nah, too late, Ryan. Cozen did a nice job, though, getting 2 offensive rebounds in a row.
Yeah.
Harry Moore did not box either time. Cozen just went over the top. We see Bonnies go 2-3 zone.
That's one thing that really sort of amazes me about Notre Dame. They are not that skilled, with the exception of that man who misses Monty Williams, and yet they don't do little things like box out very well.
No, but they got the shot they wanted right there, and Monty Williams couldn't get it to go down. But Notre Dame is limited. We've talked about that before from a talent standpoint. And John McLeod has to go out and get some good players. There's no question.
Quackenbush held up outside. Here's Vanderpool.
Nice back door.
Traffic. Harry Moore. Harry Moore's first 2-point field goal. He has 13 points.
It could have been a technical foul on Harry Moore. He could have get off the rim a little bit quicker. Decided to hang. That's been a point of emphasis also with the officials this year to call a technical foul on that play. They chose not to do it then.
And the Atlantic 10 commissioner is taking in tonight's game.
That's right.
A few seats over from us, so I don't know if he'll have anything to say to the officials.
Well, I don't know what he can say at this point.
He's coming around there by Garland Mance.
Yep. Jim Barron, that box is not in there for Jim Barron. The coaching box is non-existent.
Yep. Bills talk about the 12th man. Jim at times has been out there, even with Rob Lanier's 6th and 7th men.
I got about 6 guys. Joe Lombardi, the assistant, is out on the floor, and pretty good look though for Ryan
Hoover with the 2-pointer.
Yeah, too easy. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Bonnies need a good stop right there, and Hoover makes a little head fake and gets a wide open 15-footer.
He has 10 points.
He's a good shooter. They have to get him the ball more.
They have to find some way. You'd think they'd show some designs toward that.
Well, they got to set some screens and get him the ball. There's no question.
That way you have 2 threats who have plays designed for them as Quackenbush misses the 3. Jason Williams up against Quackenbush. Cozen.
Good hustle by Cozen. He and Ross are really banging the offensive board. Don't have anything to show for it that time. Keep working that hard on the board. Something good's going to happen to you.
Yeah, you might break your elbows.
Well, that wouldn't be something good. That would be something bad.
But no, I get
good
the
would be
idea.
grab the rebound and put it in. Yeah.
Vanderpool outside right. Nelson Richards, Shandu McNeil waiting to report in for the Bonnies.
Harry Moore drifting a little bit too far. I'd like to see him.
Well, now he's going to the hole.
Well, that was a good move to the hole.
Quackenbush can't. Well, let's see if Moore can on another try. Yes.
It's amazing how both teams are really rebounding the offensive end, but they're not doing a whole lot of boxing out and rebounding the defensive end.
Yeah, it looks for impressive statistics, but there's no reason for either side to give up that many offensive rebounds.
No.
Monty Williams tied up by Quackenbush before he can launch a shot. John McLeod, the Notre Dame coach, son-in-law of the late Pat McGroder, a longtime Buffalo Bills executive, who, as a matter of fact, is on the Wall of Fame at Rich Stadium. We're into Williams.
He touched it, I believe.
Yeah, I think he did too.
Yes, he did.
Yep. Bonnebaugh.
Good call by Rich Sanfilippo. Good piece of officiating there. Ron Foxcroft was blocked off. Really never saw that. Sanfilippo came out and made the call. Good piece of officiating. A lot of times they don't get the credit that they deserve to. The mistakes are always there. It's like a defensive back in football or a relief pitcher in baseball. But the good times are not accentuated enough either.
Because you don't see when they're successful. You see the result of failure.
Yep.
Shandu McNeil for Nee Nelson Richards. Monty Williams out with him and away from the play along the right side of the lane. And Filippo with the call. And we have wipe time here at the Riley Center. Huff is going to come back in.
The Ross twins are smacking away here a little bit. Trying to be real physical with Harry Moore.
Timeout is going to be taken. Yeah, that Gorilla's going to wipe off the floor, too. 11:52 to go in the half. St. Bonaventure up by 6.
Hey, hi, folks. Hey, you know, Blue and I are sitting here in La La Land in the hot sun, and we got to thinking, maybe there should be no more hitting in the game. Maybe you should take out those nasty disagreements. Make it more like a silver ballet. No more rock'em sock'em hockey. Maybe... Nah.
Quality Video presents the all-new Rock'em Sock'em 4. Hockey the way it was meant to be played.
Over 40 minutes with the best hits, goal saves, and other stuff, if you know what I mean.
And if you're looking for the best in hockey, look no further. Quality Video also brings you top 50 playoff goals. Gretzky, Lemieux, Bobby Orr, All the superstars of hockey, Rock'em, Sock'em 4, and Top 50 playoff goals. Both incredible videos for only $19.95. This incredible offer is not available in stores, so pick up the phone and get in on the great hockey action now.
St. Bonaventure leads this by 6. Harry Moore, of course, the force for the Bonnies. He has 15 points tonight. Working here from the left baseline in. And then keeping the ball alive, Quackenbush. Quackenbush tries. Harry Moore, well, he'll try again from in the lane.
Harry said, I missed it the first time, but I'm not going to miss that one.
That to give him his 14th and 15th points of the night. In the course of the timeout, those towels apply to the court again. And they're using the quicker picker-upper. That's
right.
That's the question.
Are they one of our advertisers? That's the next question.
Yeah. Or will they be now? Final looking to inbound the ball.
There's a hold on Jason Williams, I believe.
Yeah.
Notre Dame falls on number 23.
Jason Williams. Number 2, I believe. Yes, it is. Second on Notre Dame with 8:08 gone in the half. Nance back out to Shandu McNeil.
Notre Dame has not shown a whole lot offensively in this half, other than a couple jump shots by Ryan Hoover, but they've got to get it into it pretty quick here. That's a basket, too. I think that counts.
Yep. And a tray at that.
That's a 3+ possession of the ball. Wow, big call by Ron Foxcroft.
Yeah. Let's watch it again.
See the pass. I think Tobias might have taken a fall right there.
Bit of a dive.
That was a three-pointer by D. 39-41.
John McLeod not real happy with that move right there, or that call. That was a big call in this basketball game. If they go back-to-back threes.
Or no. Huff had the rebound, loses it along the end line, but stepping out, Joe Ross? No. That was Huff stepping out.
Pretty good effort. Pretty good effort by Tobias. Notre Dame's got to find some answers as the Bonnies are going to stay zoned right now. See what probably shade Ryan Hoover big time, I would think.
Notre Dame must see many zones.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. They're so limited offensively in who their scorers are. He's not one of them, I don't think.
One Ross takes it in the face after taking the shot and missing. John Ross took the initial shot. Joe Ross underneath. Harry Moore with his second foul. Let's look at it again as John Ross gets it all started from outside left.
Nobody boxed out Ross as he just walks right down the middle. Good call.
Joe Ross at the line has not scored tonight. That takes care of that. He becomes the third member of the Fighting Irish to score in the second half.
Joe Ross is looks a couple inches bigger than his brother John. A little more active around the board, although both players have pretty much done it there. There's a good rebound by Monty Williams, and not a very good box out as Hoover gets a three.
Off the heel, and fouls. They battle for the rebound. Final in, UConn beats Providence in the Big East, 79-78.
Notre Dame falls on number 54.
I guess UConn's for real. Win at Providence, that's a big-time game right there.
John Ross picks up his fourth foul, and to the bench is Cozen back in for him. Bonnies lead by 8. 10:50 to play. Air ball, so no reset. Vanderpool shoots into Ross as he turns around. And Ross yells at the official, "How did you call that on me? I didn't move. He moved into me."
Now, maybe take a look at this as John Bonder is trying to explain. Here's the shot. David Vanderpool, really not a very good shot. Kind of a fall away. Bad call by John Bonder right there. Ross, that's what the principle of verticality is that you've heard so much about. that they want. The defensive man is just as much right to the defensive
You talk
position.
about identical twins.
Oh, that's not exactly what John McLeod was hoping for, though. But that's what the defensive man supposedly has just as much right to a position as the offensive man does. That time, Ross had good position, had his hand straight up in the air. David Vanderpool gets the call.
And both free throws. He has 13. It's a 10-point Bono lead. Monty Williams. Joe Ross is number 53. This is Ryan Hoover. Monty Williams outside.
Time for Monty Williams to exert himself somewhat. They're going to have to set some big-time screens for him, isolate inside. They have to get him the ball. Or they have to make that kind of a jump shot.
Yeah, if they make that, it's a lot better for him.
The only guy that's shown that they can do that, though, is Ryan Hoover. As Ross throws it away. There's a walk. Oh, and a push.
A push, huh?
Push.
Push on Hoover.
Almost going against number 5, Ryan Hoover.
Ryan Hoover out of Roscoe, Illinois.
Notre Dame is seeing this game get away from him right here. As Jim Barron has done a real nice job keeping some defensive pressure on Notre Dame, playing the people you have to play, which are Ryan Hoover and, most importantly, Monty Williams.
The Rosses interchange. John to the floor, Joe to the bench, both with 4 fouls. Chandu McNeil. Outside, Karofsky on him. Nelson Richards. Huff, wheels to McNeil. Now Vanderpool inside on Monty Williams. Call for traveling as he made that shuffle right.
Yep. Chandu McNeil does such a nice job running the offense. He only had 1 turnover in the first half. Turnover is, of course, a major problem for Notre Dame, and that they're averaging about 22 of them a game through the beginning part of this year. It's Karofsky with a nice move on that.
Very nice move.
That's what they've been expecting from him. As you can see by the big knee brace that he has, he doesn't have the explosiveness that he was advertised with.
And a timeout taken by St. Bonaventure. 9:42 to play. The Bonnies have an 8-point lead, 51-43. Notre Dame needs to do a lot to get back into it. Stay with us.
Have what it takes to be part of the Sabres power play. Well then, how about the Gulf Oil Premium Power Play Sweepstakes? I want you to join me, Dave Hannon, and the rest of the Buffalo Sabres as we take you on the road to Quebec and Ottawa. Hey, we'll even let you fly in our team plane and stay in our hotel. You could also win autographed jerseys, sticks, plus more.
Join Dave and take your best shot. Register today at participating Gulf Oil outlets. No purchase necessary.
Hi everyone, I'm Mike Robitaille, and I'm so happy to be back as host for our 2nd season of Hockey Hotline. Our opening show will be January the 27th. That's immediately following the Sabres-Washington Capitol game, when I'll take your calls live from the Empire Studios. This is your show and your opportunity to ask your questions about the Sabres or the National Hockey League. That's Hockey Hotline, following every Buffalo Sabre game exclusively on the Empire Sports Network.
Jim Barron showing what he learned from Jim Sadlin when playing for him here at St. Bonaventure as he works on the slate.
Probably wouldn't take him very long to do that.
Come on.
Jim Barron has done very well for himself, and he's getting his team, as you can tell. He's expressive. He was that kind of a player, and he's that kind of a coach.
Very emotional in his club with an 8-point advantage now. Stay tuned to Empire Sports Network for the second half of tonight's college basketball doubleheader. The Nebraska Cornhuskers take on the Colorado Buffaloes tonight at 10, right here on Empire Sports Network. Bono with the ball out into the backcourt to McNeil. With possession and up by 8. 9:35 to play. McNeil outside left. There you see the turnover figure. McNeil's going to take the 3.
Whoa! Bonus time. If Chandu McNeil can make that jump shot, that's going to open the whole court up. Harry Moore's going to have a field day in the second half here, in the last 9 minutes.
If he just hits the 2s, it happens.
Yep.
He hit the 3 there.
He's a tough little bugger. I'll tell you, I like the way he plays.
11 points the lead. And the pass for Karofsky, or rather from Karofsky to John Ross, off Ross's hands and out of bounds.
Now, bad pass by Karofsky. He's got to shoot that. He's the scorer. Ross is not really the scorer on that. He's got to take that ball, look to be aggressive.
And a couple of possessions ago, we saw Karofsky work well off a set
make
play.
a nice split move through the middle. He's got to do more of that. They need that third score right now. It's strictly Monty Williams and Ryan Hoover against 5 Bonaventure guys.
Barry Moore. Outside lefty, Nelson Richards, watched by Hoover. McNeil.
With a post-up move.
Yeah.
Shandu.
Thinking about posting up against Kurowski with Quackenbush on the outside. Now Shandu cuts back in the lane. Garland Mance scoring.
Shandu McNeil does an awful lot for this basketball team. I don't want to keep repeating myself, but he's been a key figure in really blowing this game open.
Monty Williams calls a timeout. This game is very close to being in the deep freeze on this sub-zero night in Olean for the Bonnies. 56-43 with just over 8.5 to play. Stay tuned.
Attention sports fans, when you need a score on any game, call Scores Coast to Coast. The fastest sports scores anywhere. Not only do you get the fastest scores, you also get current Las Vegas lines updated every hour, as well as injuries, trends, weather, and more 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Everything a serious sports fan needs absolutely free on a recorded message. The fastest scores anywhere. Quick, someone just scored. Call Scores Coast to Coast.
He shoots, he scores! That's right, it's time to come to Fascinations and see why Buffalo is one of the best sports towns around. Fascinations is inviting you down Sunday for the Sunday Sabres Shootout. We'll challenge you to snap it through the goalie's 5-hole to win great prizes, including Buffalo Sabres tickets. We'll have winners all Sunday long. And if the Sabres are playing that night, stay at Fascinations for the game and enjoy $1 bar drinks and more great prizes. That's the Sunday Sabres Shootout at Fascinations, Union and French Roads in the Garden Village Plaza, Cheektowaga.
56-43. St. Bonaventure led by 3 at the half, 33-30. Here's Shandu McNeil, the freshman from Archbishop Malloy. Inside, Mance got the position on Monty Williams and scored it.
Got great eyes, got great hands, but got great eyes. Sees the court, delivers the ball to the right people. Size doesn't make any difference at this point.
Kurowski to play it in for Hoover. Hoover wants some help. Yeah, the 3-pointers in this half. Hoover can hit it himself for Notre Dame. Now Kurowski tries one. No, rebound, Cozen. Kurowski
looking to maybe shoot over the top of Shandu. Not a very good pass right there. Got to get a better angle if he's going to get the ball into him. Monty Williams has really been shut down in the last 5 minutes. Hasn't touched the ball.
Right, that's the key.
Yep.
And of course, the burden he carries is going to wear him down some.
Absolutely.
Though his personal history this year has been to score more points in the second half than the first.
Bonnie's really spreading the court right now as they go high on the 1-4. Mance takes it hard to the hole. Talk about Notre Dame struggling here tonight, now down 13. But when you look at their schedule for the rest of the year, ouch.
Yeah, they've got Duke coming up next week. North Carolina, couple with UCLA.
UCLA, and DePaul, and Louisville, and
North Carolina,
Providence. Right? Yeah, at Georgia, down in Omni against Georgia. They're in for some long nights.
Very long ones. There's Notre Dame's upcoming schedule.
That's the easy part of the schedule.
Yeah. Finally going back home. This is the end of playing 4 of 5 on the road. Garland Mance with the free throw. Now Admore White comes back in. Perhaps to play the lead guard role and maybe set up Ryan Hoover for some threes.
John McLeod is really trying to figure out what he could do to get his team back in the game here. They just don't have any scorers. They've only scored 13 points in the first 12 minutes of this second half, and that's not going to do it against anyone.
You never would have dreamed something like this would happen the way Notre Dame and St. Bonaventure started tonight. Well, speaking of Hoover trying the tray, in and out. Moore clears the rebound. Shandu McNeil to push it up court. Notre Dame not getting back all that well. Mance throws up a horrible shot.
Good defensive play by Ryan Hoover, but Mance avoided the charge and was able to get the shot off. There's another three. Hoover's got to shoot that ball. He has to shoot that ball.
He shouldn't have had to think about it.
Nope, he's got to shoot that one too. Good shooters can't think about it. They just have to take it up.
Kurowski. Quackenbush clears. So you see a lack of confidence in the Fighting Irish?
And the fact that they can't get it to Monty Williams and aren't really looking to get it to him right now.
Of course, there's an old paraphrasing of olive oil in the Popeye cartoons that they have a lot to be modest about. And underneath, add more White in some heavy traffic. Garland Mans with the foul. That should be number 4 on him.
15-point spread for the Bonnies with about 7 left. It's the Bonnies to win at this point. And it's also,
absolutely.
I mean, I don't think they have a whole lot of problems other than controlling the ball here, getting the ball inside, making their free throws. They're in the 1-on-1, so they're going to have to make some free throws down the stretch.
White is hacked as he gets the pass off into the front court. Vanderpool with the foul.
Neither team, as we mentioned earlier, is a very good foul shooting team. So I think when you come down to the last 6 or 7 minutes here, the team that's going to shoot the ball the best are going to be the ones that, obviously Bonaventure has the big advantage because they're up 15. They can afford to miss a few. But Notre Dame's going to have to knock each one of these down right now.
1 in bonus for White. Doesn't hit that. Monty Williams, the rebound. Puts it back up, but can't score.
First time he's seen the ball in a while, and he said, oh, is this what it looks like?
What is that?
This close to the basket.
This is called the rock, huh?
But when you know when it's going bad, when Monty Williams misses a 3-footer, they're in deep trouble. Ryan Gooden getting a little time after he makes his 3 the first half.
Quackenbush outside on Ross. Now Harry Moore.
Jimmy Barron looking to use the clock almost on every possession right now. I would
taking a Hubie Brown approach, you're telling me. Glidden.
Good shot.
And Moore reached over on Monty Williams.
That is on Harry Moore. Somewhat of a late call, but call's made nonetheless. Harry Moore commits his
final scores in the Atlantic.
3rd.
Duquesne 79, Rhode Island 62, and St. Joe.
So Monty Williams with 21 points, 15 in the first half. A look at Jim Barron without his sports coat on, and a cool night at the Riley Center. Williams hits his 5th consecutive free throw.
It was real cool earlier when the crowd wasn't there, but once the crowd came in and heated up a little bit, then it was it's fine. Bonnies have heated up a little bit better than the Irish.
An afternoon shoot around, it wasn't all that much warmer inside than it was out.
I'll bet.
24 points for Monty Williams.
If Notre Dame's going to make a run, they have to turn it up from a defensive standpoint. I don't think they can just come in. Monty Williams got hurt on that play as he turned his ankle trying to play some defense. If he has to come out here, that's going to be trouble.
That foul is on number 12,
Edmore White collects his 2nd foul. Monty Williams just sets himself up to line up on the left of the lane as Quackenbush goes to the free throw line.
Up to the foul line of the Bonnies. This is Jeff Quackenbush.
1 in bonus. Mance getting ready to come in for St. Bonaventure. The miss. Moore the rebound. Lost on the way up. Sort of tipped away by Williams. And Quackenbush trying to finesse his way through the photographers.
Well, John Ross made a block right there that would make Lou Holtz proud as he put a little clip on the wing.
Maybe would have liked to have him on the field when Mr. Gordon lined up that game-winning field goal for Boston College.
Time is getting short right here for the Irish. Time to do something. They've got to get the ball inside, or they've got to penetrate and make some moves like Ardmore White just knocked down.
But that's something they have not been able to do with any regularity.
Not all game long. Obviously, they're still in the game, down 11 with 5:30 to go. Plenty of time with a 3-point shot. Bonnies are going to have to make some free throws, as we mentioned earlier.
Andrew McNeil.
Ryan Gooden getting some quality time here. Nice backdoor pass. Poor defensive play by Notre Dame as they turn their back on the ball. You can't turn your back on Chandu McNeil. He finds the open man almost every time.
And again, they don't play that well on defense, at least on the road. Jason Williams, too far. Nance gets it, dribbles through the traffic. Try to get Glidden. Jason Williams tries to save by throwing it off, and here come the Irish. Edmore White, Monty Williams.
Oh,
Quackenbush, beautiful takeaway.
Lovely play by Jeff Quackenbush. Bonnie's got to slow it down right now. They don't need any more points.
Quackenbush underneath. Moore. Does it count? Nope.
They'll only take the easy ones now, I would think, St. Bonaventure. Notre Dame has to take anything that comes their way right now.
Catch this now as Williams had the ball cleanly taken away by Quackenbush.
Monty Williams looks like he's about had it. Yeah. He looks like he's beat down some, and he has to rebound, he has to block shots, he has to score points, he has to guard Harry Moore. He has to do too many things for this basketball team, and I would imagine you see him wear out pretty much at the end of every game.
Jason Williams, who hasn't had all that much playing time, out with 4:33 to go. Harry Moore hits the first one.
You know, Monty Williams was shooting 50% from the three-point range coming into the game. Has not shot it very well from the outside tonight. He's been more effective when he's gotten the ball inside, but he just hasn't gotten it enough there.
Moore gets them both. He has 17, and he's going to go out for Huff. So Harry Moore, averaging just about 21 points a game, goes to the bench with 17. 8 in the first half, 9 in the second. Notre Dame down 15 points. Edmore White outside right, has some room against Glidden, and the ball lost. Vanderpool. A little stutter step move outside, takes it further out.
Pretty good move by Ardmore White, but he just couldn't complete the play. Oh, nice drive by Ryan Glidden.
Dribble drive by Ryan Glidden. He has 5 points. 4 minutes to play. And a timeout taken by the Irish. 64-47. Are they ever enjoying themselves here tonight in Olean? The hearts are warm, the outside is cold, but you wouldn't know it inside here. The Bonnies by 17.
Hi, I'm Ed Kilgore. Join Art Wander, Larry Felser, and me for Pros and Cons Wednesday night at a special time of 9:30.
This week we'll be talking about the Bills playoff game against the Raiders. We'll also be chatting about college basketball.
That's right, Larry, because our guest is going to be Empire's expert basketball analyst. Pete Lonergan's going to be here with us.
So join us for Pros and Cons at a special time right after the Notre Dame game here on the Empire Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Vic Carucci.
I'm Howard Simon.
Watch Pro Football Focus on Empire Sports Network for an informed look at the Buffalo Bills and the NFL playoffs.
Thursday night, Vic and I will talk about the Bills-Raiders game. We'll discuss the upcoming conference championship games, and we'll have a special guest interview.
That's Pro Football Focus on your home for hometown heroes, Empire Sports Network.
Pro Football Focus is sponsored in part by Brennan's Menswear. Regular, big or tall, Brennan's fits them all.
$17 points the lead for St. Bonaventure with 3:59 to play. When the media men get together, there's always a controversy. Stay tuned for Pros and Cons immediately following tonight's broadcast. Yeah, Ed Kilgore, Larry Felser, Art Wander, with look at the guy who was on the line, Pete Lonergan.
Whoa!
They'll be talking some college hoop with Pete.
Why would they be talking to Pete if they're going to talk college hoop?
Well, they were going to talk class rings.
Oh, yeah. He was an English major down here at St. Bonaventure and got his graduate degree in English and Shakespearean scholar.
So like Paul Westhead?
Yeah, that was Paul Westhead too, but it was also Pete Lonergan.
So they're very similar.
Yeah, very similar.
Taylor outside, Edmore White. Notre Dame with the basketball. Pete Weber along with Jim Saddle, Don McClain here at the Riley Center. Big night for the Bonnies. And a turnover to St. Bonaventure.
This game is slipped away from the Fighting Irish.
There's no way of getting back.
I don't think so. Of course, with the three-point shot, there's always that opportunity, but you're going to see Bonnie's milk the clock.
Huff. Cross court for Moore.
Nice backdoor cuts. Bonnie's really looking to take advantage right now.
Up to the hole and fouled.
Yep. John McLeod getting the big freshman some time, and Tobias Huff just takes him outside and tries to make a move to the basket. John McCloud has seen too many of these nights this year, and he's going to see a few more before it's over also.
Matt Gotch commits his third. Huff goes to the line.
Notre Dame needs some players, Peter.
Several.
Yes, they need some players to compete with the kind of schedule that they're going to have to play. And not an easy situation. It's never easy to rebuild a program to bring it up. And
you just don't tell people, and there's no way they would accept that they were just like 1 or 2 players away. We're talking about a lot of lack of depth.
Hall finally makes one.
Yeah.
Gives the crowd.
After
gives
missing
a little
5.
cheer. Yep.
Add more White. That's Lamar Justice.
I don't think you can say enough, though, about the fact that Bonnie's has really done a great job on Monty Williams, especially the second half.
He's worn down.
Yeah, he really is. And they're banging him, and they're working him hard. They're fronting him down low. They're making him work for everything, and they've done a terrific, terrific defensive job on him.
Chandu McNeil going to come back in. This will be 2 straight victories for the Bonnies over Notre Dame.
Bonnies coming on now, as we mentioned before. We've got a couple games coming up with
Glidden missed. Ooh, what a battle for the rebound. Into the face of Moore. Now whose face does it go into?
Teams are working hard still.
Yep.
2 and change left, and they're still working awful hard. Notre Dame has a real difficult time trying to get the ball into Monty Williams.
Yeah.
Ardmore White had an opportunity right there, but instead of dribbling and making an angle pass on the baseline, tried to get it clean in, and Bonnie's overplay him and deny the pass there. But Bonnie's come next 2 games with Niagara and Canisius on the road. Games that certainly Canisius and Niagara can win. I'm sure they feel comfortable with it. Bonnies, I know, feel comfortable that they could win it. If they're able to get up there and grab a couple wins, they go 8-8.
And then they host West Virginia here, week from Saturday on the Empire Sports Network.
And West Virginia has traditionally struggled up at Riley Center. Not that they've necessarily won or lost games up here, but they've always been close games, so anything can happen.
Chandu McNeil outside. Bonnies 2:18 to play, leading by 16.
This little guy right here has done a terrific job tonight, though, Chandu McNeil.
And he's a big difference from last year's club without a true point guard.
Absolutely.
Mance.
The rainbow.
Yeah. And inside the foul.
Right now with the Ross twins out and with Cozen out, Monty Williams looks like he's on empty. It's left to Groach, and they're in trouble.
Karowski comes back into the sideline, goes Lamar Justice. And now Pete Miller, a freshman from South Bend, who is supposed to be a 3-point specialist, hasn't played that much, comes in. He's averaged about 4 minutes a game, and he comes in for the first time with 2:02 remaining.
Monty Williams goes out. Good effort by Williams, but just doesn't have the supporting cast to be able to extend it for 40 minutes.
Quackenbush misses the first. So Monty Williams to the bench with 24 points. Ryan Hoover, the only other double-digit scorer for Notre Dame, and he has 10. Quackenbush hits the second. 2 minutes left. White to the hole. That's the idea long term. That's the sort of thing you'd be able to do earlier in the ball game. Quite the difference, perhaps.
Well, it's a little loose right now, and interesting. We see Boyer come in for the first time. He was initially penciled in to start the game tonight, but seeing really his first action. But
Harry Moore to the bench.
White is, as we mentioned, is an acclaimed freshman out of Florida, and really didn't show anything until the end here, and now he's shown some real spark. I think
it always makes you wonder too when that doesn't come until the game has been decided.
Maybe, or maybe he just figured that now it's time for him to make a run with it. But he looks like a very good player, and I'm surprised that he hasn't been a little more aggressive with the ball.
15 points to lead, 66-51. Maryland Mance.
Tough job to try to deny Chandu McNeil the ball. He's just so small and he moves so well that. And that's the guy you want with the ball. You don't want Jeff Quackenbush with the ball.
Shelton steals it away after the turnover to Notre Dame, and then it's tipped out of bounds.
Sidney Shelton's got to learn to give the ball up to the guard, though, and then fill it and go to the basket someplace.
The Bonnies will play it in along the end line.
Good win, though, for St. Bonaventure. Conversely, not a great effort by Notre Dame, but that just typifies, I think, the talent level that they have. But Bonnie's, this is a very, very good win for them tonight.
Peter Himmelar reports in now for St. Bonaventure. Also coming in, Ryan Gallo from Depew. Ryan Gallo, number 11. 92 seconds left. Himmelar lost it in a collision. Shelton along with Admore White.
Now's the time you'd like to play the running clock if you're Bonaventure. Just get out of here. John McLeod wants it to stop as often as possible to give him the opportunity to make a miraculous run from 15 down with a minute and a half to go.
Let's take a look at the upcoming St. Bonaventure schedule. Next couple on the road, but remaining in Western New York at the Falls Convention Center against Niagara on Saturday, at Canisius Tuesday. And you see that game against West Virginia coming up here. Then at St. Joe's and at Temple.
Two toughies right there on the road, but the rest of the games are games that they certainly are going to be competitive in.
So White hits. 13 points the difference.
What if I told you that this game isn't over yet? And I think maybe Jim Barron has made a little bit of a quick move to go to some of the walk-ons and some of those guys.
Karofsky wanted to go up and draws the foul. There are going to be a lot of bodies flying around.
I think that Jim Barron will put somebody else back in the game. I'm just not sure that this is definitely safe.
With this personnel,
maybe it's an old coach speaking that way, where your nerves always comes in and everybody else thinks 13 points is safe. But you know, with the three-point shot, if they can keep the ball out of Shandu McNeil's hands and let somebody else have it, then I don't know.
Brian Saddlein comes in now.
I've heard that name before.
Yeah.
Someplace. Brian is my brother Fran's boy out of CBA in Syracuse.
Second one missing. Shelton had the rebound.
Shandu's going to take a lot of foul shots here in the last minute and 14 seconds.
If they can catch him. Himmelar. McNeil. Puts it down. Now Shelton. Shelton loses the ball on the floor.
Put it down, though. He's not the guy to do it.
White, 3-on-3. Karofsky. He's forced into going behind the back and draws a foul.
Sidney Shelton is not particularly helping himself by putting the ball on the floor down here. Jim Barron's trying to give him a little time in the last 2 or 3 minutes to see what he can do. I don't think that's exactly what he wants him to do.
So Brian Saddlein commits the foul. And Karofsky at the line.
I thought that was a terrible call on Brian Saddlein. The more I think about that. My goodness, I forgot. I was talking about something else and didn't even see it. That was a horrible call. God, he had all ball. That's a violation on Brian Saddlein right there, too.
Second free throw is good. 54 seconds.
Crazier things have happened. That's my only concern. They're going to foul guys that haven't been on the foul line before. And even Shandu's not a great free throw shooter.
I was going to say, even the guys who have been on there aren't that great. Glidden.
If I'm Notre Dame, I foul right now. I mean, I can't believe that they're letting these guys dribble the ball around.
Timeout taken by St. Bonaventure with 38 seconds left. Standing ovation here at the Riley Center in Olean for the Bonnies.
Number 50.
Number 50 getting set to come off the bench, William Fernan. We saw him play here late in the game against Niagara.
Made a bucket. He's from kind of a local guy from Ridgeway, PA, Elk County Christian. Fans' favorite. Now's the time you got to get him up, though. Take that shot when you're open here. 38 seconds to go. I think it's fairly safe at this point.
Notre Dame doing similarly. Harry Moore will be our star of the game interviewee after the game. Walk-on Sean Ryan coming in for Notre Dame, among others. 38 seconds left. So Shelton and Ryan Glidden, the only guys in the, say, top 7 of the rotation for St. Bonaventure out there now. Notre Dame even playing Patrick Keeney, who rarely gets any playing time. Lob in for Shelton. Outside, Glidden. 35 seconds left. Everybody wants to see Fernan get the ball and get a shot. Now Glidden turning the corner after getting the ball out of the corner. And referee Ron Foxcroft.
That is on number 10, Ryan.
So the foul goes against Sean Ryan. Now there's a perfect name for Notre Dame athlete.
Yep.
And there's an imperfect free throw by Ryan Glidden. Second free throw good. 30 seconds left. The only thing left to decide the final difference. No question who's going to get the W. White with the steal and the clear by Hemmelar. And Hemmelar backed off.
Sweet move by Ardmore White. Going to get a shot at it.
Yep.
Got the two-shot foul. Jim Barron wants to talk to Peter Hemmelar. Hemmelar's doing the smart thing, walking away from Jim Barron.
That's the fourth foul on White, and to the line, William Fernan. The fans' favorite.
Not a bad release.
No.
Right there.
But that miss deflated the fans.
Yeah, he probably made that shot a number of times down on the farm.
He scored against Notre Dame. 10 seconds left. Nope. Rebound, Glidden. 5 seconds. He can run it out if he wants, or he's going to take the three. Nope, and that's the ball game. St. Bonaventure beats Notre Dame tonight by 11. 68-57. John McLeod congratulating the St. Bonaventure coaching staff and players. So Notre Dame falls to 5-9. St. Bonaventure is 6-7. In front of a sellout crowd here tonight. The Bonnies please their fans 68-57.
Inside Sports Magazine.